All right, cool. So you posted today that you're enjoying your retirement after being a carpenter, but you started a new chapter in your life helping people fix their credit. Tell us all about this new venture of yours.
Absolutely. They talk about blessings coming, and when you pray for certain things, blessings come, and they may be disguised as something you don't really recognize. Thus, credit restoration. I always knew it was important, but I was never taught financial literacy in school, as a lot of us weren't. This company here has been around since 2004. Word of mouth only. You'd never see a commercial advertising about them, but they're the real deal, brother. We have 12 outstanding services that are life-changing. And I always tell Raider Nation, I've got a special deal for you that I can offer you. Come on board, get your finances in order, leave a legacy for your kids and your kids' kids. Just change your life completely.
And you said that recruitment's been going well, right?
It's going well, brother. The nation has seen my posts, and they've seen it consistently, and they're reaching back.
All right, now, so on top of that, you have your signature V57 cigars for sale, as well as merchandise on motorsports.com. Talk about your V57 cigars and motorsports.com.
The V57s was the byproduct of someone I didn't even know, a cigar manufacturer, who watched me always post up on social media enjoying a nice cigar and a glass of bourbon or whatever, you know. But they posed to me this question: why are you posting somebody else's cigars when you should have your own? And I kind of ignored the whole gesture for about a week or so, never returned a call or a text, but they were persistent. And it was another blessing coming, and I was like, before I turned my back on it, something said, hear the guy out and talk to him. So after doing that, it's been about 2 years now, and, just selling them word of mouth. But they're, like I say, a private blend that's made for me to just raise my brand, so to speak. And like I said, it's been a blessing, Homer. That's my way of relaxing after a long day. And sometimes during game day, I just do it just as part of my ritual. But awesome cigars. So anybody that's into that, brothers and sisters, just hit me up at Violator57 on Twitter.
All right, cool. And then motorsports.com. All right, cool. So you posted today that you're enjoying your retirement after being a carpenter, but you started a new chapter in your life helping people fix their credit. Tell us all about this new venture of yours.
Absolutely. They talk about blessings coming, and when you pray for certain things, blessings come, and they may be disguised as something you don't really recognize. Thus, credit restoration. I always knew it was important, but I was never taught financial literacy in school, as a lot of us weren't. This company here has been around since 2004. Word of mouth only. You'd never see a commercial advertising about them, but they're the real deal, brother. We have 12 outstanding services that are life-changing. And I always tell Raider Nation, I've got a special deal for you that I can offer you. Come on board, get your finances in order, leave a legacy for your kids and your kids' kids. Just change your life completely.
And you said that recruitment's been going well, right?
It's going well, brother. The nation has seen my posts, and they've seen it consistently, and they're reaching back.
All right, now, so on top of that, you have your signature V57 cigars for sale, as well as merchandise on motorsports.com. Talk about your V57 cigars and motorsports.com.
The V57s was the byproduct of someone I didn't even know, a cigar manufacturer, who watched me always post up on social media enjoying a nice cigar and a glass of bourbon or whatever, you know. But they posed to me this question: why are you posting somebody else's cigars when you should have your own? And I kind of ignored the whole gesture for about a week or so, never returned a call or a text, but they were persistent. And it was another blessing coming, and I was like, before I turned my back on it, something said, hear the guy out and talk to him. So after doing that, it's been about 2 years now, and, just selling them word of mouth. But they're, like I say, a private blend that's made for me to just raise my brand, so to speak. And like I said, it's been a blessing, Homer. That's my way of relaxing after a long day. And sometimes during game day, I just do it just as part of my ritual. But awesome cigars. So anybody that's into that, brothers and sisters, just hit me up at Violator 57 on Twitter.
All right, cool. And then motorsports.com. I got to say, I bought the Just Do You, You Can't F That Up shirt. I love that shirt. It really touches the heart, you know. So talk about motorsports.com.
Motorsports is my baby, so to speak. I'm an old Johnny Quest freak from when I was a kid, so I fell in love with Komodo dragons. So when I was competing in bodybuilding back in the 80s, I didn't want to wear what everybody else had. I wanted my own stuff. So being an artist, I said, you know what? I'm going to draw my own designs and put them on my sweatshirt or whatever it was. That's how it started. So motorsports is that. It's sports apparel for the fitness enthusiasts, and the Just Do You type shirts or pick up face shirts are my positive messages that I feel are lacking in today's society. So I'm always reaching for Generation Next, you know, in that respect, giving them something visual. And even people my age will see it and it speaks to them. And that's the kind of designs that I come up with. Stuff that makes you think, food for thought, so to speak, because there's enough foolishness out there being printed. Put something that's got some spiritual nature to it that will make you stop and hesitate for a second and, like, take a look at your own self in the mirror.
Amen to that, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, because, you know, the branding age is here, right? Social media, YouTube, all that. So yeah, to put something with some spirituality, I guess, like you're saying, behind it, that's cool. Something that touches somebody's heart and resonates with them, and not just, you know, just something that you're selling, you know. So that's a real cool idea.
Or something that's trending. These designs, I design them to surpass time, man. They would never have to change. They still mean the same thing years down the road.
Hello, Raider Nation. Welcome back to Monday Nights Live. I'm Raider Homer, and I have another great lineup for tonight's show. Now, let's go over how Monday Nights Live works. It's structured like a football game, but instead of 4 quarters, we have 4 callers / time slots, and sometimes we have multiple callers in each time slot. All right, we break for the halftime show after the second caller, and during the halftime show, we will hear from the viewers during Raider Homer's phone blitz. So get your calls in by 8 p.m. CST, Blitzers. Just call 512-298-2407. You can leave a 3-minute voicemail if you'd like. All right, or you can leave your shout-outs in the chat line, and I'll read those out after each caller. All right, we also hear from Raider musicians during the halftime show, and this week we are hearing Raider songs from Team Bad, Lonnie Cash, and Big Mac. All right, kicking off tonight's show is Raider Puppet. This guy has a great idea. I love what he's doing with the Raider Puppet live in Vegas. Cannot wait to keep working with him. We're going to talk about working together during the segment. All right, our second caller is Raider Cody. And now I know you guys know I'm a Derek Carr fan, so I'm excited to get another Derek Carr fan on the Raider Homer channel. Ooh, this is going to be fun. All right, kicking off the second half of the show, we have David Grant, who is a former NFL referee and a lifelong Raider fan. Believe it or not, right? A referee was a Raider fan in the NFL, okay? So we'll talk to him about that and how weird that must have been. All right, now closing out the show, man, we're going to have the one and only Graphk Raider coming on, man. This guy got some great YouTube channel, great music, man. Hey, he's a solid dude. I've been watching his channel, and the things that he says, man, lets me know that this dude is not only a great Raider fan, he's just a badass, good dude. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Graphk Raider. All right, now, providing backup for tonight's show is Heidi Stabbert, a.k.a. Kevlar Prom Dress, my fellow co-host on the Only Nation podcast. Don't forget to listen to the Only Nation podcast with me, Heidi, as well as T3 Raider Facts. All right, you can find the Only Nation podcast on all of your favorite podcasting / music apps or by going to theonlynationpod.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Only Nation podcast YouTube channel, T3 Sports Guy YouTube channel, and head on over to Captain Jack Rackham Levy's YouTube channel and subscribe there as well. Don't forget to go to the RaiderHomerChannel.buzzsprout.com. There, you will find links to all my social media accounts as well as links to my upcoming podcast on whatever podcasting app that you listen to. Be sure to subscribe right here on the Raider Homer channel if you haven't already, Raider Nation, and I appreciate everybody's support. All right, next subscription raffle will be after we hit 700 subs, and we will be raffling off merchandise from Chucky Stuggs. Chucky Stuggs is a longtime friend of the Raider Homer channel too, so I'm happy to represent Chucky Stuggs. Cannot wait to see y'all again out there and get some more pictures. All right, let me know if you'd like to order any of the Section 105 Border Chapter Pillaging Just for Fun patches. All right, you can just message me on my social media accounts, and I'll get your order squared away. You can also contact Polo Rodriguez, Ronnie Arbaca, Sammy Alonso, Juan Baja Raider Ramos to complete your Border Chapter patch collection. All right, this week's mailbag, I don't have anything new, so we're going to go over what we got in the offseason. So, David Grant, the referee, NFL alumni, gave me this when I was doing a show with him and Wayne and Captain Jack on his channel, NFL Nation Live. This is the football that I'm going to take to the Hall of Fame, to Canton, Ohio, and I'm going to get this signed by the newly inducted Hall of Famers, Tom Flores, hopefully Charles Woodson, and of course, friend of the Raider Homer channel, Wayne Mabry. All right, cool. Also, during the offseason, I got a koozie from BadassRaiderGear.com. Hit them up. Good people. And of course, like I said, Chucky Stuggs, always showing love to the Raider Homer channel. So head on over to ChuckyStuggs.com and get some merchandise there. They got a badass custom domino Raider set. So be sure you tell them Raider Homer sent you. All right. Be sure to hit up everyone from this week's mailbag segment to get some Raider Nation merch of your own. And now, on to some quick hits Raiders news. There's a lot going on. Seemingly, right, at first it didn't look good, but it's starting to get better, all right? Kiewatowski and Littleton restructured their contract, saving the Raiders $7 million in cap space. That puts us 7th in cap space, okay, guys? Be patient. The cap got lowered. We knew it was going to happen, but when we signed everybody, we didn't anticipate this happening. We didn't anticipate COVID coming and screwing everything. So we had to get rid of some of these guys. Luckily, guys like Littleton and Kiewatowski are restructuring their salary caps. All right, Kyle Long came out of child of Raider legend Howie Long is coming out of retirement, and apparently he's supposed to visit the Raiders to maybe come and play right tackle for us. He's also a guard, so he's a good piece to get, I think, in free agency. All right, of course, Donald Penn signed a one-day contract to retire a Raider. Once a Raider, always a Raider. He said he grew up a Raider fan. He said he wanted to come here and end the playoff drought, and he did that. He helped do that. So I'm happy for him to retire as a Raider. Looking forward to maybe getting him on the channel sometime. All right, now the big news of the day, right? The Raiders agreed to terms with Yannick Ngakoue. All right, now look, this is the guy that everybody wanted us to trade for. Now, my good friend Heidi Stabber, she says it only cost us a season not trading for him, but I like the fact that we ended up getting him in free agency and we held on to our draft capital. Look, the Raiders are trying to make moves. We got a pass rusher coming in who worked with Gus Bradley before. All right, hopefully we can get Richard Sherman, move him to free safety, and then maybe get Ingram too. If we can sign those 3 guys on defense, I think we'll have a much, much improved defense. So, once again, though, let's not go too far into this because we got to get to the callers. We got 2 minutes to go. Once again, though, you can get a more detailed look into the Raider news by listening to the Only Nation podcast. Just go to onlynationpod.com. Whew. All right. With all that being said, let's get to our first caller.
Raider, a person who attacks an enemy in the enemy's territory. A marauder.
We Raider. Chill, baby. We Raider. Representing that ORSPC. And that Raider Nation wrecking crew. Let's go. I come from Denver, hits my city, and it's all love. But Bronco country ain't my thing, I Raider Nation hood. I keep it real, I'm 100, ain't on no bandwagon. Ain't jumping ship, you can stick it. 3 rings, I'm still bragging. Yo, got me yakking that orange and blue, it ain't cracking. Black and silver on my back, baby. Start the core, Derek's horde, our future MVP. Yo, Raider Nation, stand up and tell them who we be. Raider. Yeah. Nation, always proud to represent my team. I've been around since 7'6", we won our first ring. We won in 80 again, we won in 83. The AFC West, we're 15-time division kings. 24 Raiders inducted to the Hall of Fame. But Ken Stabler should have stayed the 25th name. We rich in history, it's time that history repeat. So step aside before I step on you with Raider Leafs. Yeah! We Raider. Come on! We Raider. Yeah, baby! Nation. It's Raider Nation. We Raider. Yeah! We Raider. Come on! We Raider. Yeah, baby! Nation. It's Raider Nation. We Raider. We Raider. We Raider Nation. It's Raider Nation. We Raider. We Raider. We Raider Nation. It's Raider Nation.
All right, Raider Nation, we are back with Raider Puppet, or I should say David Michael, a.k.a. Raider Puppet. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, Raider Homer. How you doing today, man? We're doing great over here.
Well, I'm doing good, man. Raider Puppet's not hungover, is he?
Well, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos of Raider Puppet. Apparently, he has some issues during the Raider games during the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. Don't give him any tequila when we lose. That's for sure.
That's for sure. So that's funny.
No, yeah, okay, man. So I was telling the listeners at the beginning of the show that we're going to be working together. And you know what? I'm very excited to announce this because, look, I have confirmed with everybody. It will be a Raider Homers pregame show with Raider Puppet, Oakland Raider Savage, and the Talking Raider Shield. We're coming back. And, of course, we'll have an interview with a weekly superfan. We're coming back hard in the paint, y'all, with the Raider Homer pregame show. And I'm excited, David, that you're going to be coming on with us.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Anything we can do for the Raider Nation to pump up the volume, I'm there for you guys. That's for sure. And the puppet, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. That's for sure. He's got his own mind. That's no doubt about it.
That's sweet. That's sweet. Now, here on the Raider Homer channel, as the listeners know, when the first time a guest comes on, we want to get a basic interview in because we are all about world building here on the Raider Homer channel. So let's go ahead and start with when and how you became a Raider fan.
Well, I grew up in, I'll just let you know, back in the 1965, and I became a Raider fan in 1976 because my stepdad, he was a Dallas Cowboy fan, and back in those days, you only had one television in the entire house, and so we always had to watch the Dallas Cowboys, which I couldn't stand. And every now and then I'd catch a Raider game on television, and if you recall the year 1976, the Raiders went all the way to the Super Bowl against the Vikings. They won, so naturally as a young, impressionable kid, that was my team. Watching the team fight, watching the team kill. I mean, just there was nothing but excitement back there. That Kenny Stabler and guys, it was just it was a remarkable time for Raider Nation back then, and so that's where it all began. I mean, back in the day when teams were teams forever. I mean, players lasted for their whole careers just about, and there wasn't too big free agency out there. So I mean, when you had a player, you had the player. Not like today's game is a whole different world out there with free agency. But that's where it all began for me. Was back in the Los Angeles area, suburb of Los Angeles, way back in '76. So yes, I am old, but the Raider Puppet's next to me saying, well, I'm not that old, but he isn't technically. But anyway, that's where it began for me. That's for sure.
That's awesome, man. All the way back to the first Super Bowl, man. That's a long road being a Raider fan, man. So, the Raider Nation, man, is just very creative, very passionate about the fan base and willing to express themselves and their creativity through the Raiders, and I've seen all kinds of characters come through, man, but never have I seen a Raider Puppet, man. So how did all that start? I mean, talk a little bit about how Raider Puppet got started and how you got started being a puppeteer.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, COVID, I could blame a lot on COVID, that's for sure. I work for a big company, and we were kind of like relaxed a little bit during the time. We were still pumping out products, but I was kind of stationed at my house at the time, so I had to do something. I'm just creative naturally as a person, so I thought one day I met a friend that had a puppet studio, and they showed me some pictures, and I said, "Man, I don't." And believe me, I don't know where this came from. I said, "I want a puppet of myself. That's what I want. I want a puppet of myself." So I hired the guy to make the puppet, and I sent him pictures of me, 360-degree pictures of me, and the beard and the hair and the eyes and the moles or whatever, and so that's where Raider Puppet was born. But at that point, he was really David Michael Puppet at the point. And then when I got him home, put a little bit of Raider gear on him, put some hats on him, and one day I filmed a little video of it, just some silly, stupid little video, and I actually submitted it to all the channels out here in Las Vegas. And about a couple weeks later, I'm sitting out back watching the sports report on Channel 8 here in Vegas, 8 News Now, the sports report before every Raider game. And I was looking down, and I heard my voice, and I looked up, and there was Raider Puppet on the television set. It was that little video I had sent in. And the reporter, Chris Mortensen, had said, "Hey, that's David Michael and his Raider Puppet." So technically, Chris Mortensen's really responsible for naming Raider Puppet. He basically said it on air, and that's it. Raider Puppet was born that day. And then we did several shots or videos around town. I did them actually on location. Every video originally with Raider Puppet was on location, whether it was Raider Stadium, Raiders headquarters, Las Vegas, wherever I could shoot a video out of it. I was in front of the headquarters, and weeks gone by, and the Raider Puppet was on the 8 News Now sports report, about 6 episodes. Which again, if you go through my video catalog, you'll see some of the videos that were actually on air during the sports report, and they taglined, Raider Puppet reports, blah blah blah, whatever game, the Chiefs games, the whatever games, you'll see it. But that's kind of where it all happened, and it just turned into this whole thing, and everybody seemed to like the Raider Puppet, so he kind of took on his own personality in a way. But when you break it down, the Raider Puppet is me, and I'm the Raider Puppet. So when you see all the silliness of him, sometimes the little bit of too much partying, a little bit of too much language, or this, well, that's just me. That's the way it is, and so I could express it through him. So maybe I won't get in trouble if he says some shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, the Raider Homer moniker fits me pretty well because, sometimes I do some dumb shit, say some dumb shit, but I'm a loving father, hard worker. So I think it's beautiful when it all works like perfectly, when it all comes together the way it's supposed to. Because like I didn't come up with the name Raider Homer per se, right? Somebody had called me a homer, always defending the team. So then I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and go with Raider Homer because I remember all the Raider Homer memes, and then boom, here we are. So it's nice when things come together like that, and it's not forced. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, this is like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Muppets. I loved Sesame Street, dude. So this is something that I'm very excited to bring to the Raider Homer channel is Raider Puppet and you. But talk a little bit about who inspired you as far as like Raider Nation quote unquote super fans. Because Wayne is a huge friend of the channel. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, talk a little bit about some of the super fans out there that inspired you.
Well, I mean, there's not any that inspired me. What inspires me is the Raiders organization, the team itself, the ownership over the years. But you brought up Wayne, which I have a little story about Wayne. I think he may not remember this, but if he's listening. His wife knew a cousin of my ex-wife's, and we went to his house. I think he lived down in Rancho Cucamonga, California at one point. And we went to his house for a Mike Tyson fight. And now I'm going back good 20 plus years ago, by the way. And I remember talking to him, and I was a Raider fan. He was a Raider fan, and he had mentioned that's what he was, or that's who he was, because naturally you'd only seen him with the war paint on. And here was this guy, this pretty stocky guy, standing in front of me, telling me, that I'm the violator, I'm the this, which I thought was the coolest thing in the world. But that's my story about him. Is I actually was at his house for a Mike Tyson fight once, and got to meet the guy. He's one of the nicest guys. He was a great host that I recall. Again, I'm going pretty far back, but yeah, that was an interesting outing for sure. Mike Tyson won. I'm sure of it. I can't recall. It's kind of far back there, but as far as the nation, the Raider Nation itself it truly looks like a large, crazy family, which is just awesome. I mean, there's no other fans. I mean, they're very respectful, first of all. In my eyes, we have a lot of, when the Raiders originally signed on to Las Vegas, a lot of the locals were, they're a bunch of gang members, they're a bunch of this, they're a bunch of that. I dealt with that the whole entire time, explaining that, these are regular people with regular families. If there's something goes down in the stands, it's because somebody's opening up their mouth and saying things they shouldn't say. And that's no different from any walk through another stadium wearing another jersey and talking shit, to 60,000 fans.
Yeah.
Okay, something's going to happen. I don't care where you're at, whether it's Raider Stadium, whether it's Philly Stadium, wherever. So it wasn't, and I still have to explain myself, every day that Raider is going to be great for this city. There's a ton of Raider fans in Las Vegas. They're going to drive it from Los Angeles. They're going to drive it from San Diego. They're coming down from Oakland. I've heard one of the Raider Joker, I think it is. I think he moved from Oakland, him and his wife, to Las Vegas, as a matter of fact. I just saw something on that recently. So, I mean,
that might have been Thor, but no, Raider Joker lives in Tennessee.
Okay, so I may be mixing up. I apologize, but I know one of them just moved. One of them moved here to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I saw it somewhere, and I thought, hey, that's fantastic. So, I mean, again, I think it's great. It's great for this city. I know a lot of people are disappointed that they left Oakland. I lived in Los Angeles at the time when the Raiders moved to LA, in the early 80s, and which for me was the greatest day of my life because I was able to go to every home game. I think I missed, actually, out of the 10 years they were in LA, I missed 2 games. One because I got married, and one I went on a honeymoon, and I still caught the game on my honeymoon on the television set. So technically, I really only missed 1 game. So she wasn't happy about that, but maybe that's one forced. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, for them to come to LA and me living there, they went back to Oakland, which was fine because that's their home. And then, lo and behold, here I am living in Las Vegas. Here comes the Raiders. I kind of feel like they're following me around a little bit, to be honest with you. They're Raider homer.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Did you ever get to go to Oakland?
I went to Oakland. I've been to, obviously, Los Angeles. I went to San Diego, which it appeared that there was like 50% Raider fans to Charger fans at every game. Been to Kansas City games or in Kansas City. Yeah, so I've been to pretty much. I never made it to Seattle when they were in our division years ago, but yep, I've been to a few games around. I've been to Denver. I was at Denver game not this last year, but the year before, the last game of the season, which we unfortunately lost on the last play of the game, if I recollect correctly. But so I've made it around our division teams, stadiums, that's for sure, over the years.
That's awesome. Yeah, what'd you think about Oakland, man?
Well, I mean, when you look at the new stadiums and even Mile High and the San Diego Stadium, it was a whole different vibe up there for sure. A little different, I'd say. I think there was more enthusiasm there, which was more like family enthusiasm amongst all the Raider fans compared to when you were, down in LA or San Diego. It was a little rougher out there because there was a lot of shit talking going on. Anytime you obviously go to another stadium with other fans there, it's a whole different vibe, but at least the Raider Nation stuck together and handled the business, so it was always enjoyable. But Oakland, great city. The problem with Oakland was, I mean, the government didn't want to put up the money for Big Al, and I know the fans are upset, and I understand it 100%. I'd be mad if they left Las Vegas tomorrow, but when the local government doesn't want to fork over any cash to take care of the old man Al, then you got to do what you got to do. I hate to see it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, a lot of people, that definitely hurt a lot of people. But you know what? The realest of the real, though, are showing up in Vegas. And there you are in Vegas. Of course, year 1 in Vegas did not go as planned. COVID ruined everything. But, I was there for the home opener, man. And you're there every week. What was
Yeah.
the Raider Nation like coming in and out of Las Vegas during the COVID year?
Well, I mean, it's great because you just go down to the parking lot down there, and there's a ton of people just sitting there. I don't know if they're listening to the radios or watching it on their phones or whatever down in the parking lots, and of course the bars around town. There's some of the little Raider bars, and people walking around the streets, showing their colors off. And we've had some issues where there was the Kansas City game here in town this year, and a whole tribe of Kansas City Chiefs fans showed up in our parking lot, and social media went crazy here in town. Oh, we're all Raider fans. Get down to the stadium, so on and so forth. And so, thank God nothing happened out there. I mean, it is what it is. And the opposing team's going to try to enjoy themselves just like we would if we went to their stadium. So it's all about love, man, and getting along. And the Raiders just beating their ass. That's all it is. It's the bottom line.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I said, I was there week 1. I had a great time. It wasn't the same at all, but then again, we weren't able to really do anything. So I'm looking forward to this year, man. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's opened up here in Texas. Seems like it's opening up in Arizona. In Vegas, everybody's eyes are on Vegas. Man, I'm excited. I want to get into that stadium. I want to get into one of those stadium tours. Have you had the chance to have a stadium tour yet?
Well, I'm pretty lucky guy to be one of the biggest Raider fans in the world for life, and I was actually on the build team for Raider Stadium, so I was there from day one of the groundbreaking ceremonies all the way to the end when the stadium was finished. I worked for a large manufacturing company who had some products throughout the entire stadium, so I was one of the inspectors actually there. So I had to be in there on a weekly basis. Making sure everything was done correctly, made sure it was signed off on, and so on. So for me, it was spectacular. Again, on some of my social media, I couldn't release photos at the time because we were banned from taking shots during the build. But now that the build is over, I've actually released some footage of the stadium prior to being complete. And so again, if you go on one of my social media sites, you could actually see some shots. I have a ton of them. I only released so many because I just so many pictures and videos and so on. And not only the stadium is unbelievable, but also the Raiders headquarters is impressive. Now that's in Henderson, Nevada, which is literally about 10 minutes away from the stadium. So if any of you Raider fans come out to Las Vegas, I know you want to see the stadium, but you also may want to take a little drive, about a 10-minute drive over to Raiders headquarters. It's quite impressive. It is as large as a 787, if there is such an airplane, hangar. There's 3 football fields outside. There's a main football field inside, all the gym equipment, all the locker rooms. Again, on my social media, you can see some of the Raiders headquarters before it was opened up on my website as well. So it's spectacular headquarters. And then right across the street is Raiderette little studio. That's literally right next door to the Raiders headquarters in Henderson, Nevada as well. So, I mean, it's just everything is impressive what they've done here with the Raiders as far as bringing them here. You've got Derek Carr, you've got Gruden. I've met Mark Davis, the owner, and he's just the nicest guy. I ran into him outside of T-Mobile Arena after a Golden Knights game, and he was great to talk to. Asked me about the stadium because I told him I had been working there, and most gracious, and took a great photograph with the guy. He's very, very nice guy. He's at every Golden Knights game. If anybody's interested in hockey, he's got a front row seat there at every Golden Knights game. And I went to Derek Carr's house. There was a little issue with the build at his huge house he has here in Las Vegas, and so I was able to go into his house. He was actually home at the time, but he was behind a glass partition in his office. I did see him. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture with him or anything because of COVID-19, and so that was kind of a bummer for me because that would have been a great picture. But so yeah, I mean that's the deal. I mean it's all impressive here. John Gruden's house is being built as we speak. I know Mark Davis is his house is in the plannings right now. So hopefully I have something to do with that as well. Would be just great. So
yeah,
a lot of exciting things. There's a Raider restaurant at the M here in Las Vegas, the M Hotel Casino. there is a dedicated Raiders restaurant. So I'm sure that place is going to be something to see and go to when, game day or game weekend, should I say.
Yeah, I'm
So check
looking,
that out.
like I said, that's awesome that you were involved with the building of the stadium. You got to meet Mark Davis. You went to Derek Carr's house, man. I'm getting jealous here, man. I want to move to Vegas, dude, badly.
Well,
But I got to take care of my daughter first. You got to consider my daughter first, though. But man, I want to go to Vegas.
so, it's a small, when you really look at Las Vegas, I mean, you get from side to side in, 25, 30 minutes max. So at some point you're going to go down to the local Starbucks there on the corner where Gruden goes every morning before he goes to practice, So, I mean, you run into them everywhere out here. It seems like, who was the one I ran into? Gosh darn it. I can't think. Running back.
Josh Jacobs or Ingold?
No, he retired last year. Seattle Seahawks, Raiders.
Lynch, Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn. Sorry about that. Yeah, my brain.
Mode.
You know how it is with the tequila. Marshawn Lynch. I was at one of those beef places out Texas Day Brazil restaurants, and I was at lunch, and I was walking out the door, and there was this massive man standing there, and I was like, holy crap. And that was him. Marshawn Lynch was standing there, and you walk out. There's his Lamborghini sitting out in the parking lot. And so, yeah, you run into not only Raiders players, Golden Knights players. You run into, movie stars and such all the time out here. It's a lot of fun, and it's such a great town. Like I said, my hope for Raider Nation is, and I know this is going to happen. They're all going to come out here on hopefully Thursday or Friday. They're going to party Friday. They're going to party Saturday. We're going to tailgate Sunday. Party after the win Sunday night and drag our asses home on Monday or Tuesday, because this isn't a 1-day deal. This is a 2, 3, 4-day town. So I hope everybody can get out here from across the Raider Nation and enjoy 2, 3, 4 days here in our city. It's a beautiful city, and I'm sure there's going to be more things for Raider Nation to do and be a part of and participate in, and restaurants and bars and so on, and casinos. We just want to open that stadium up so bad and get everybody in there. And I think last year was kind of a slap in the face a little bit, but it was a long 2-3 year build. Not to be able to go in there really was rough on everybody out here. That's for sure. So
yeah, I can imagine. Hey, Michael Morales is giving you a shout out. He says David Michael rules.
Michael Morales is a good guy, that's for sure. That's what he's a good friend, that's for sure.
Cool. Good to see you in here, Michael Morales. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, brother. All right, David, aka Raider Puppet. We're about to head out, man. But before I let you go, tell the Raider Nation how to find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on Instagram as David Michael 1965. There's also David Michael Facebook. There's also Raider Puppet Facebook page. Just go to Raider Puppet, and you'll see his page. Also on TikTok it's under celebrity_puppets. And that's pretty much a lot of Raider Puppet. There's all kinds of other celebrity puppets on there, from Little John to Easy E, Conor McGregor. I mean, it gets wild on celebrity.
The Little Joker one is hilarious.
That was a lot of fun. I think there's actually 4 videos of Little Joker and all of his Raider buddies in there, and that was a lot of fun to make those ones. And I don't know, I made 3 Super Bowl trash talking videos with Mahomes and Brady talking shit to each other. I think there's a series of 4 of those, and those are hilarious as well. So I just want everybody to check it out. Most of that's on the celebrity_puppets on TikTok. But yeah, I try to post it on all the sites if I can. YouTube is, I think I made that Raider Puppet 413. That's on YouTube. That I'm just starting to put videos onto. So I apologize. There's not a lot of content on the YouTube page. You'll find more videos with alcohol bottles talking to each other.
It's all good, but you'll find David Michael, aka Raider Puppet, here on the Raider Homer channel during Raider Homer pregame show. And so yeah, we'll keep y'all informed. Man, bro, you know what? Thank you for that promo video, man. I told you with the green screen, bro, we can do a lot, man. I got what I want to do is like not necessarily an ESPN broadcast, but like a standard news broadcast where I'll be the news broadcaster, and we're going to have Oakland Raider Savage doing the weather reports, and we'll get you doing the on-site reports, and we'll get Talking Raider Shield, and we'll get the interviews. I mean, it's going to be fun, bro. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I just want to tell you one more thing before we go. So I'm actually going to have a conversation with my puppeteer maker, and see about what we can do about getting a Raider Homer puppet.
Yes. I cannot wait to talk to the Raider Homer puppet.
You can get away with a lot of shit when it's a puppet talking, let me tell you.
Yeah, I bet. All right, cool, brother. I appreciate you coming on the Raider Homer channel. Be safe out there, and looking forward to having you back on.
Hey, I appreciate you, Raider Homer. I appreciate Raider Nation. Let's get it on, Raider Nation. Let's do it this year. Let's make something happen. I appreciate each and every one of you. Come visit our city. Raider Homer, you're a good man. Take care of that daughter of yours. God bless her. And you have a nice evening, brother. Talk to you later, I'm sure.
Likewise, brother. All right, Raider Nation, man. David Michael, a.k.a. Raider Puppet. Be sure to find him on social media, man. That guy, diehard Raider fan since 1976. Saw him in L.A., saw him in Oakland, lives in Vegas. Hey, we got another guy like Oak Las Vegas coming up later in Graphk Raider, so that's kind of cool. So, all right, let's hit up the chat line. Killer Cut 78. Oh, he says, hello, David Michael. Sorry, I didn't read that a little while ago. Michael Morales, thank you for showing up. Chindo Ramirez, what's up, brother? Juan Tesanero, is that Mark Davis under the Homer suit? Brother, I wish I owned the Raiders. All right, Raider Squid, yes, David Michael, if you're watching, Raider Jester, he moved there. Thor Helm moved there. A lot of people are moving to Vegas right now from the California area. So it's going to, that was a major concern, right? When we go to Vegas, it wasn't going to be the same, but there are a lot of people from California going to Vegas. I think that Oakland tradition, that Oakland flavor will be carried on over there. Cisco's over there. I mean, there's so many guys. Raider Nation Wrecking Crew, Michael Oregon shows up over there. I mean, it's going down in Vegas, y'all. All right, back to the Sebastian Gonzalez. What's up, brother? Johnny Jimenez. Hey, what's up, bro? Executioner in the house, man. Looking forward to getting that patch. Y'all hit up the Executioner and get your Executioner patch. It's a pretty good looking patch. I like it. Raider Squid, bro. Man, I can't remember when you said you were going to come to Texas. I hope I get to see you, bro. Hope I get to see you. All right, cool. That's the end of the chat line. Now, check it out. We're going to go ahead and get on over to Raider Cody. Raider Cody's a little busy, so we're going to have a little bit of a shorter call, but that's all right. We'll move into the halftime show a little bit earlier, and then we'll hear more from David Grant, who, again, is NFL alumni, former NFL referee, so I'm looking forward to everybody. And then, again, once again, we're going to have Graphk Raider on later, so we still got lots of content coming. Stay tuned. Corey the Raider, okay. Oh, that's Killer Cuts. All right, brother. Yeah, cool. All right, brother. Thanks for tuning in. All right, cool. Yeah. Moving along.
Let's get it cracking. The bay, yeah, we roll all night. Take a trip to Bakersfield, bet the cars all tight, bet the cars all right, and the cars all night. That's Smiley, that's a star. Shorty walk with the bike, and we already know you hate us like Obama, but it don't stop. Noah in a 6 Deuce Impala, and it don't stop. Raider Nation car club hoppers, keep it old school, hit just like pop lockers. Come on, Doe boy bang the beats on the Harley. Raider Nick and that's flicks and a 4-1 caddy, like a job when we mob, but it's more like Black Sunday till we get to Black O'Donnell, Rob and Big Harvey. Yeah, we gon' be there, yeah, no matter how far. Big G security, Larry Sergeant of Arms, and that's Sergio hopping in the Lincoln Town car. It gets scary if you get caught messing with ours. If you don't know, now you know. Better recognize the name. Up the boulevard, Raider Nation black in the back. Do you know where you at? West Coast to be exact. And you know how we like our vehicles. Motorcycles, little swag for the people. Chevy Elcos, 396264. Sounds rattling your flow. Traveling in fleets to the pulse of the street. Hit the shows to the beat. No club more complete. Some cars cut, some cars not. Some cars high, some cars hot. The main ingredient is the pride of the Raiders. Just like the team, the other clubs hate us. We ride low enough to cause sparks. Y'all scared after dark. While you march, keep your cars parked.
Better recognize the name. And you know we show no shame.
We swerve through, way past your curfew. Y'all do inert you, what we do disturbs you. Cause y'all can't get it like we get it. Hit it like we hit it, Raider Nation all in it. And rims and paint just ain't enough. The custom airbrush got your eyes stuck. Knobby wheels on the truck, skull and bones on the truck. Excursion with the doggone fog.
Let me show love the Ingrid in the OAK. On the Harley Ron Mario and AJ. In the Chevy S10 Ruben winning all day. Cause the chrome keeps spinning all the way to the bay. Don't worry about no title, man, we keeping a belt. And it's all about the Raiders when they're dealing this dealt. So much love to Al Davis and the legacy felt. And in case you didn't hear me, I'll repeat myself. Better recognize the name. And you know we show no shame. Shout out. See you, Kip, in that Suburban. What's up, Gil? See you in that bomb. Hey, in that Harley. Yeah. Yeah, I see you. Sabrina, Vanessa, Delala, Rena, Fred, that BW Cole, DJ Big, Danny and David in Bakersfield. Yeah.
Raider Nation.
All right, Raider Nation, here we go. Now, those of y'all that listen to the Only Nation podcast know that I am a Derek Carr fan. So, and if you pay attention to Twitter and YouTube, you'll hear Raider Cody showing his support for Derek Carr. So, I'm excited to bring you on here, Raider Cody, because Derek Carr catches a lot of flack, man. And so do you. But you know what, though? Let's pump the brakes a little bit. And let's go ahead and do a little world building here on the Raider Homer channel. So, let's start with, how you became a Raider fan. And what made you decide to broadcast yourself and report on the Raiders?
Man, I was just from the womb to the tomb. Like a lot of us, it sounds bad to say I didn't have a choice, but I didn't really have a choice of what team I cheered for, man. I was born and raised Raiders, Lakers, Dodgers. Went to games with my dad all my life, and there's really nothing that could have ever persuaded that any other direction. Raider Nation has always been family. It's been cool, even as a kid, to go to tailgates. Very, very family-oriented environment, but also can get a little rowdy, with the right crowd, and it just kind of developed over the years. And I had a good time, and always just wanted to try and talk more about the Raiders. You get in discussions all the time. You go to the gas station, or you sit down in a restaurant, someone near you is wearing a Raider hat or something, man. First thing, you can't help yourself. A lot of us, I can probably guarantee you every single person, listening to this right now has that same way, because that's all they want to do is, talk about their favorite team. And that was me. And I guess, I don't know, I just got a little hunch, or a little, kind of, I don't know, wanted to talk, wanted to put out a podcast, and it just kind of developed. I get kind of weirdly over obsessed with projects, and the podcast was one of them. Had a good time, and it's been cool meeting so many different fans, talking to so many different fans. Now that was the whole goal in this, doing a podcast, is really just connecting with Raider Nation as much as I can. And it's been fun, dude. The Derek Carr stuff is, I guess I'm kind of on the front lines of it. It's still fine. It's whatever. It's still cool, this little era that we're going through, and we're going to see how everything turns out. Obviously, we're making a lot of moves today, making splashes. This team isn't, just settling. And that makes me feel excited for this football team, because there's only been, a handful of splash signings in day one of free agency, and the Raiders were one of them, and it was one of our biggest needs. And just like you said before we got on here, it was cool that we didn't have to give up any draft capital to fill that need. We waited patient, and Yannick Ngakoue is now a Raider, man.
Yeah, I think that's big. Now the question is, I guess you move Pharrell into the inside now, right? Because he can use a centerpiece. He's that type of player you can move around. So if you move him into the middle, you got Ngakoue on the outside, and then you got Max on the outside with them. I mean, that's looking a lot better, but there's still a lot of work to be done, right? And there's all that going on between Gruden and Sherman. How excited are you about the idea to have Sherman come to the Raiders? And for me, I'm thinking free safety, like move him like you did Charles Woodson. What do you think about Sherman coming to the Raiders?
I like that idea. I'm not going to lie, I'm iffy because you immediately compare it to Charles Woodson making the move. I definitely think Sherman's smart enough to be able to make the move. Obviously, being in Bradley's system, he's going to understand what it takes to play safety in that system. And I think the knowledge of the game, Sherman's not going to struggle with at all. And that's what's going to be great. And I think it's going to be cool if we can get him that he'd be able to mentor the team, you know what I mean, or the secondary. So right. I don't know. I like the idea of Patrick Peterson. I like the idea of any of these veterans kind of being able to get back there. And that's just what we need. That's what we're missing. We have young guys. We have talent. We have Mullen. We have Abram. He just kind of needs like that wingman. Abram needs a guy where he can go up and he can kind of do his thing that we saw him do in the last few games. And I think Sherman would give him that ability. Obviously, Sherman's not going to be a guy to come up and play in the box. Sherman, I think, has that knowledge, and hopefully we're going to see if he has that range. That's I guess my biggest question being back there playing center field. You don't necessarily have to be fast to look fast. A fast player can make slow decisions and look slower than a slow player. So it's one of those things where Richard Sherman, man, I wouldn't be against buying his jersey even.
Yeah. Well, wow. No, I don't know about that. I like to wait until they're legends because too many Mac situations. But that's another topic. I think, the Sherman deal, that would be huge for the Raiders because I think Arnett I still think he's a good player. He's a tough kid, all right? Yes, he got concussed twice, got knocked out of the game, but he came back both times, right? He did not want to just sit out. He got the thumb surgery towards the beginning of the season. He did not want to sit out. The guy was available as much as he could be available. He wasn't going to let injury get in the way, and I think that the kid can play. It's just that he's young. And so Richard Sherman in the middle, being that field general type player, can really help these kids advance quickly because the big thing right now, right, we can sign all these guys that we're talking about, or these two guys that we're talking about, but we need Gus Bradley's defense to step on the field day one and perform well because it can't be a late start. It has to be consistent. So this team has to play well from day one, and I think Richard Sherman can do that. But we'll see. Now, I think Ingram, right, he's the other rumor, right? He would be another good pass rusher, but I think he plays more of a linebacker situation. He's more of a linebacker, isn't he?
In a way, I think he would just be like that backup piece to like Max Crosby, kind of rotate with him and even Ngakoue. And the question with Melvin Ingram is he willing to, necessarily take on that role, right? Is he able to come in and be willing to be a rotational role player? Because I don't think that he has the talent to be a starter anymore. Whenever you have Max Crosby and Ngakoue, you don't just sit one of those guys in favor of him unless, they just are tired and need a rest. And Nicholas Morrow, I see in the chat, I see Kilikuz. Replacing Morrow, I don't think is necessarily Melvin Ingram's strong suit. I think that if we don't sign Morrow, we definitely need to find that replacement. But Morrow's kind of more of that like gadget guy that almost wants to play like a stocky slot corner and can still kind of get in your face and rush the passer if need be. But his main thing is off ball. And we have that a little bit with Littleton, but it was nice. Really, I mean, Morrow was a key piece. And I think Morrow, I don't even want to think about replacing him yet. I want to just more so think about what it takes to keep him. And it was also cool to see another key piece is Daniel Carlson, seeing him, get tendered and pretty much know that we're not going to let him go anywhere either.
Yeah, he's like 11th in all-time scoring for the Raiders right now, I think. So, He's definitely a good kicker. I know Seabass was a badass, but it always seemed like Seabass missed a long field goal when we needed it. But Carlson seems to come through. Yes, he's missed a couple of easy kicks that cost us, but I feel a lot more comfortable with Carlson back there than I did with Seabass in certain situations. But that's probably not the most popular opinion. But look, so some,
Yeah.
so some of the, but hey, like I said, I've been watching the Raiders since the '90s. Seabass, cardiac Seabass. I always was nervous when he came on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think we kind of have that next little trio built up, which is nice with AJ Cole hopefully getting in there and still developing. The three of them played great, locking up Trent Sieg like that, having that trio just like a John Kondo, Sebastian Mikowski, Marquette King, or Shane Leckler, depending on the era. There's kind of two split eras there.
Yeah.
Getting that again, I feel like these three are going to develop into that. And hey, what's the Raiders team without the special teams unit being or should I say, our kicker and punter being one of the best players on our team. And also, real quick, I see in the chat, Stage Door Casino. Shout out to Stage Door Casino. We'll be there for the draft.
Yeah, man, I got to see you there week 1, the home opener, man. Y'all had it going
that was
on,
a blast,
man. Murph was there. Who else? Sanjit T, right? Oh, no. What's the other guy? I can't remember the other guy.
Even Samoan Raider showed up. Samoan Raider.
Yeah.
We had Kenny King there. Yeah, it was a blast, man. We had a good old time.
Yeah, I got to take a picture with Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson. I was chilling watching the game with Gorilla Rilla, man. That was fun, dude. Yeah.
Shout out to Gorilla Rilla.
Yeah. All right, cool. So back to the team. All right, another big rumor right now is Kyle Long. We got to replace Trent Brown, who, in my opinion, just was a bust. What do you think about Kyle Long coming back or coming to the Raiders? And him. I don't know. A lot of people talk about the nepotism of John Gruden and bringing in guys he knows. Do you think this is a similar situation? Like we're just kind of reaching maybe for a guy, or do you think he can really come back and perform well because he can play guard and tackle?
Yeah, I definitely think that his skill set right now and the way he's built, I think he should be a guard. I'll be extremely nervous. I mean, if that's our last resort right now, if that's our last resort and we need a right tackle to insert in there and it's Kyle Long, cool. Injury history isn't in his favor. That's why I say, if he comes in as our guard and doesn't come in like he's the answer at right tackle, then I'll enjoy the signing. I'll enjoy it either way because I'd love to see a Long in a number 75 jersey. That'd be awesome, obviously, for just the historic reasons, right? We love our nostalgia here in Raider Nation, and that's something that's like everyone's going to be breaking out their Long jerseys even more than they were before. So I like the idea of that, but I don't like the idea of just because of his injury history. He's getting up there in age, which you can still play right tackle or any offensive line position at an older age if you can stay healthy and you're still nimble. Obviously, I thought we were going to sign Donald Penn at some point this morning. I was all nervous. So you never know what you're going to bring. Age is just kind of a number, I guess, if you're skilled enough. But I love Kyle Long signing, like I said, but I just hope that we have other answers for key positions because I don't want this, game of musical chairs going on at right tackle again. We need to solidify that. Maybe we bring him in and bring in a young guy to kind of have behind him. Or maybe Brandon Parker keeps being that guy. Maybe, but let's bring back Richie Incognito. How about that?
Well, I was just going to get into that. Our mutual friend, Joker Raider, is releasing those pictures with Richie Incognito in the One Nation Incognito cap, man. So, he's come out, Incognito's come out, and he's talked about wanting to come back to the Raiders. I think that's working behind the scenes. So, if that works out, and we end up having Simpson at right guard, and then we go after Good because we couldn't get a Kyle Long, are you comfortable with the right side if that's the way it works out?
Yeah, I could live with it. Honestly, we're trying to look at who our, pretend, I guess, starting lineup would have been last year. I wish I saw the 5 of them all play together these last 2 years more than they did because it was very little. So trying to compare them to that is probably not fair because our realistic starting 5 every week wasn't very good or wasn't very consistent. So what we did with that offensive line, I thought was great to begin with. And we were like the second highest paid offensive line in the league. So we're going to have to take a little downgrade. We're going to have to swallow that pill just a little bit. And offensive line play in the NFL nowadays just isn't that great. As long as you're above average, you don't have to be the best in the NFL, but as long as you're above average and kind of get things done, I think that's going to be, plenty well enough. And I feel like John Gruden and Mike Mayock aren't just going to let this offensive line sink to the bottom half of the league. I still think they're going to be a top 10 unit. And, whatever the answer is for that, however they put the puzzle pieces together, I think they already kind of have that idea. They have that plan. They know what they're going to do. And I think it's going to work out great.
Now, before, as of when I started the show, we were still in the hunt for Aguilar. So unless he signed somewhere, how do you feel about Aguilar? You think he's coming back? I mean, if he demands so much, I mean, would we go after an AJ Green, or do you think Aguilar's, the better pick compared to AJ Green for consistency?
He's kind of semi-agreed, I guess, on a contract with New England. So At that point, I don't know that we're going to be seeing Aguilar at all, and they paid a lot of money for him. And I think that was more than I was hoping to pay for him. Well, obviously I'm not going to pay for him, but I wanted the Raiders to, I was kind of in the single digit amount. Like if he took like $9 million a year, $10 million a year, great. Taking more, in the 11, 12 range wasn't really my ideal price. So I think, that's where you kind of got to looking at, I'll just throw out there Juju Smith-Schuster, that do-it-all type of wide receiver, seems a real John Gruden type of guy, wants to do it all, wants to pass block, wants to, he can kind of be that red zone threat. He's just a do-it-all wide receiver. AJ Green, maybe if you want to, pay kind of almost the same, I guess, for another injury-prone guy. We need guys out there that'll play all 16 games, especially whenever we're relying on Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards until they can prove that they can play 16 games. We need guys that for sure can, and I think Juju's one of them.
Yeah, the injury bug definitely beat us over the head with the baseball bat last year. It seems like every year that Gruden's been back, we've been dealing with the injury bug. But yeah, I mean, look, now that we're on the injury bug, if Edwards can stay healthy, man, I think, with him, Ruggs and Renfro, you throw in Waller too, because he can move around from tight end to wide receiver. Man, that's a really good group, man. I don't know.
I think we're plenty good. I think we're plenty good, just overall, like you're saying, not just looking at wide receiver positions, but overall like receiving options. I think we'll be pretty set, and we're not going to settle. There's going to be a veteran wide receiver that we add to this group, just like we're kind of doing everywhere else all over the board. We got our veteran pass rusher, waiting for our veteran secondary guy. We're going to add back in a veteran wide receiver. And, of course, then we just had Devontae Booker, I think, signed with the Giants. So you can check him off the board, and I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe we bring in a veteran running back. But, I mean, those things are a dime a dozen here whenever you get into the draft. So maybe we get another young guy in here.
All right, cool. So last year when Mariota came to the Raiders, man, all the Derek Carr haters jumped the gun and started talking about how Mariota was going to take Carr's job. That did not happen. Now, I like the idea of having Mariota on the team, right? We had LaMonica, Blanda, and Stabler on the same roster. Mariota, when Carr went down with that growing injury, Mariota stepped in and damn near won the game for us. I think it's important to have two really good quarterbacks, especially in a complicated system like a John Gruden offense. How likely do you think it is for Mariota to stay with the Raiders?
I think pretty likely now. About 2 weeks ago, I didn't think it was very likely at all, but I just don't think his contract is very intriguing for teams to trade for him. I think he's in a position now where he's either going to get cut or restructured, and I think I'd prefer maybe it to be restructured. I think we have the money right now to do whatever we want and make the pieces fit, but I do like the idea of having him around just to be that safety net. I mean, it's really nice to have that even if Derek Carr can't go for one drive. Or if he had to just fill in for that one game like he did last year and play good. We didn't win the game, but I thought he played well enough to win the game. Had we had probably a better defense, just like it is always.
As always.
I think he played just well enough to win that football game. So I'm on board with Mariota staying, man.
All right, cool. So now let's get into Derek Carr, right? The Derek Carr divide is real, and it's unfortunate because Derek Carr has stepped in and showed to me what being a Raider is all about. Consistently saying that he wants to be a Raider his entire career, and you see quarterbacks that they end up with a roster that an offensive line that can't protect them, and they start demanding trades. Derek Carr has never done that. All he's ever done is assume responsibility for each and every loss, and then try to be accountable and be better. Man, dude, what the hell is it going to take other than, a Super Bowl, right? Derek Carr's got to win a Super Bowl.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
talk a little bit about Derek Carr and what he really, outside of winning a Super Bowl, what he really means to the team and what he means to a fan base that's been going after quarterback, through quarter after quarterback before he came on. Like, we talked a little bit about patience in the green room, and I think that this is where it's really important for the Raider Nation to be patient right here, because Derek Carr is somewhere between a Brad Johnson and a Rich Gannon. He's mobile, he's got a big arm, he's a good decision maker, and John Gruden can win a Super Bowl with Derek Carr, I truly believe, with the right defense. Talk a little bit about Derek Carr and why he, has earned your respect.
Yeah, man, and I'm actually going to wrap it up with this, too, if you don't mind, too, because
cool.
I'm going to be going live on my channel in about 10 minutes. It's one of the things with Derek Carr that I feel like he's right there in that borderline, depending on where you stand. A lot of us, I think, view him as a top 10 quarterback. A lot of people view him as just outside that top 10 quarterback. If you view him any lower than top half of the NFL, then I think there's just too much anger or disappointment built up in that to be able to view it clearly. I think it's very easy to say he's in the top half NFL as at the quarterback position every year. And this last year, I think he showed at times, I mean, there was 2 or 3 games out there you could say, hey, this is a top 5 quarterback. Going in there doing it with Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead, Drew Brees here inside at Allegiant Stadium, even though it's a home game, indoors against a Saints defense that was very highly ranked going into it. Seeing things like that, and just like you said, man, a guy that is committed to a football team that, for the most part, has had a lot of dysfunction. And that wasn't because of Derek Carr. That's just because we've had to deal with it. But there is continuity and consistency that's growing within this organization, and we have a solid home. We have nice facilities, and I really feel like, Mark Davis has, kind of pulled back the reins a little bit on all the craziness that's been going on, inside the front office. And I think we're headed in the right direction with John Gruden. I mean, this is kind of, in my opinion, a lot of people have Derek Carr in the hot seat. I'm always going to put it on the head coach's shoulders, because ultimately this is on Gruden. And I really want to see him flip this thing around. I think he will. I think Gruden's going to take this football team to the playoffs in 2021. And I'll say playoffs until they beat like a really good team early on next year, and I'll start screaming Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens from there, man.
You're preaching to the choir, man. Before I let you go, tell the Raider Nation how to find you on social media.
Yeah, man, you can find me pretty much at Raider Cody everywhere, RaiderCody.com. And, yeah, man, just, I don't know, Google me, man, or just keep watching Raider Homer. You don't even have to look for me, man. Keep watching this channel. It's got all the content you need.
I appreciate your support, brother. Have a good show tonight.
Cool. Thanks, man. You too. See ya.
All right. Hey, and, that's Raider Cody, y'all. Appreciate him coming on the Raider Homer channel. And if you came here to see Raider Cody, please subscribe on your way out. I'd appreciate your support. Hey, and I know you're going to go see him, but I'd love for you to stay here, though. But you know what? Raider Cody, man. That dude's legit, man. He's a cool guy, knows his shit, and a solid Raider fan, right? A positive Raider fan, somebody that's not going to trash the team, somebody that knows the team well, an honest type guy, man. So I appreciate you coming on the Raider Homer channel, Raider Cody. All right, let's check out the chat line. Raider Squid, yeah, what's up, brother? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Angelo Haro, or Angel Haro, Killer Cuts is still in here. Let's see. Prodigy, what's up, brother? Who should we target at wide receiver? We were talking a little bit about that. I don't know. It seems like it's slim pickings, not a bunch of names jumping out. If he came down to AJ Green, right? He's fragile. People talk about him being fragile. At that point, should we just keep an Edwards? Because Edwards is pretty big. I don't know, man. The wide receiver, it's up in the air now that Aguilar has signed with the Patriots. So we'll see. All right, Stage Door Casino was in here. Thanks for stopping by. Power Raider. BJ Mack, yeah, we got Ngakoue, man. That was a big signing. Las Huervo, Vallecina, Chindo Ramirez. Let's see. Thanks for coming in. Michael Morales was in here. Sebastian Gonzalez, what's up, brother? Yeah, I know we got Yannick, man. That's a great signing. All right, Juan's in here. All right, cool. All right, let's move on to the Raider Homer halftime show. We're going to start that off with the phone blitz. Again, guys, you still got time. You still got 7 minutes to get your calls in. Call in, give a shout out to Raider Cody, Raider Puppet. We got Graphk Raider coming on. We got David Grant coming on. You can call and give your shout outs. 298-2407. All right, let's go ahead.
What's up, Raider Nation? This is the Executioner Hoping everybody's having a blessed Monday. Staying safe out there, wearing those masks, washing their hands, just hopefully everybody's being safe out there.
All right, and there was the halftime show, or the phone blitz. So appreciate you calling in. That was the Executioner. Y'all hit up the Executioner for his patches. He's a pretty cool guy. All right. Let's see. Now we're gonna continue on with the halftime show right here.
I say ain't no party like a Raider Nation party, cause a Raider Nation party don't stop. The Chiefs a bunch of jokers, the Chargers are jokers, and the Denver Donkeys, they suck. I say ain't no party like a Raider Nation party, cause a Raider Nation party don't stop. The Chiefs a bunch of jokers, the Chargers are chokers, and the Denver Donkeys, they suck. Suck. It's a Raider party, baby. Team bad. Bad guys, black pirates. Let's go.
Raider Nation knows how to party.
Yes, we do.
Raider Nation knows how to party. We get busy in LA.
Los Angeles.
We get busy in Oakland. We get busy in Las Vegas.
Just win, baby.
Just win.
Just win, baby.
Just win.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West, where the fans are the best and they wear them Raider vests, where they mask up their face and put patches on their chest, where they scream till it ain't the voice left. Look, forget the rest. There's only one team, one goal, one dream. Super Bowl, another ring, another Lombardi. A Raider party don't quit. Whether we lose or tie, we still ride, won't split. All black outfit, we pirates up on the ship. Haters can walk the plank. You ready to take a dip? You ready to get wet? We hitting the strip next. This gift, I'm just blessed. One nation is just hell.
Raider Nation knows how to party.
Yes, we do.
Raider Nation knows how to party. We get busy in LA.
Los
We
Angeles.
get busy in Oakland. We get busy in Las Vegas. Just win, baby.
Just win.
Just win, baby.
Just win. I say ain't no party like a Raider Nation party, cause a Raider Nation party don't stop. The Chiefs a bunch of jokers, the Chargers are chokers, and the Denver Donkeys, they suck. I say ain't no party like a Raider Nation party, cause a Raider Nation party don't stop. The Chiefs a bunch of jokers, the Chargers are chokers, and the Denver Donkeys, they suck. We run through California to Phoenix, Arizona, from Texas to Las Vegas. Raider fans be the greatest, from Memphis to Mississippi, Atlanta, we keep it litty. Tri-state to New York City, the silver and black committee. So loyal, so committed, so faithful, so true. Jump ship, hell no, never ever, won't do. We deep in Seattle, Oklahoma, we like cattle. From Ohio to Nebraska, Kansas to Alaska. A sea filled with blackness, we ride. Win, lose, or tie till we die. Certified, filled with Raider pride. Raider Nation for life, worldwide.
Raider Nation knows how to party.
Yes, we do.
Raider Nation knows how to party. We get busy in LA.
Los
We
Angeles.
get busy in Oakland. We get busy in Las Vegas. Just win,
fear. The spectacle of fearsome acts. Somebody steals from me, I cut off his hands. He offends me, I cut out his tongue. He rises against me, I cut off his head, stick it on a pike. Raise it high up so all in the streets can see. That's what preserves the order of things. Fear.
Knock, knock, is that silver and black? Knock, knock, where my raiders at? Knock, knock, is that silver and black? Knock, knock, where my haters at? Knock, knock, is that silver and black? Knock, knock, where my haters at? Knock, knock, is that silver and black? Knock, knock, where my raiders at? I'm the #1 draft pick, Las Vegas Raiders. You the number no pick of some goddamn haters. If you ain't rockin' 915 in the Vegas desert, you rockin' all the wrong shit. I rock with a Raider, I go plenty hard, homie, yeah, I goon for the squad. Yeah, I march like a Raider, yeah, I goon for my squad. We got some wolves in sheep's clothing, acting hard for they squad. Knowing deep down inside they ain't Raiders on God. The autumn wind is a pirate. The autumn wind is a Raider. La Nación, Wrecking Crew, Los Villanos, TBH, Raiders de la Baja. Shout out to Big Oso, Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. With TMBC, we go hard for our squad. I go hard for my fam, TMBC, La Nación putting it down in Sin City. And I'ma run through your team like Bo Jackson did. And I can sack your whole squad like Howie Long did. Yeah, that black and silver, yeah, I bleed that shit. Yeah, that autumn wind, yeah, I breathe that shit. You ain't fucking with me, Raider from way back, boy. Like when Snake was hitting Branch, like way back, boy. Silver Chucks, black Dickies, and dark ass lows. You see that flaming Al Davis shit be spitting the smoke. From Oakland to Los Angeles and back to the Bay. Now we here in Las Vegas, that's where we stay. You got a problem with that, keep a shit on the low. This is Raider Nation, fool, you don't like it, then go. It's black and silver, and it ain't never gonna stop. I'm a Raider till the motherfucking casket drop. The autumn wind blows through our city. Shout out to Gorilla Rilla, Raider homies, Mob Boss, Gray Raider, Clown Prince. Shout out to the fam that's been down since day one. Shout out to Mr. Al Davis for making us Raiders. We bleed that silver and black. We breathe that autumn wind. We live this shit. Fuck your team in that rag you swinging. This Raider Nation where we at. See them pirates blinging. See that city in the background, that's the city of sin. Got hella lights, got you on the outside looking in. I hear the chatter now, we trying to mimic the Bay. Hell no, we in Vegas now, we got our own lane. Let's keep it real for a minute. We rep the same team, we done rep Oakland and LA. Let's rep the home team, no politics in the nation, that's some bum ass shit. You tryna hate on your squad, be a Bronco and quit. This for them homies bleeding, black and silver for life. This for them homies repping Raiders every day and every night. This is 24/7, 365, this 702. It's that 015, this Las Vegas Raiders. About to step to the top, this Las Vegas Raiders. Motherfucker, knock, knock. That's what I'm talking about. I love my team. I rep my team. 24/7, 365. We bleed that. We breathe that. Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. This is dedicated to our brother Richie Montano. Rest in peace, my brother. Raiders.
What's up, my Raider Nation? It's your boy Big Mac, and I'm back once again for album number 2, A Raider out of Fresno. This album is dedicated to you, my worldwide Raider Nation. Much love to all my real ones. Y'all know who you are. Yup, let's get it. I'm back again, and once again it's on. Big Mac up in the building, dropping bombs, busting Raider music. I'm about to lose it. Get ready, Nation. I'm about to
And how fitting that we want people to throw in the flag at the end of that song. Hey, our next guest is David Grant, a former NFL referee. All right, so I appreciate everybody hanging out, and watching the show. Appreciate Executioner calling in to the phone blitz. I will work that out. I'm gonna iron that out. The setup this year is new. I probably should have spent a little bit more time working all that out, but I didn't. You know how we do it at the Raider Homer channel. But hey, we bring you some decent content, right? You just heard from Raider Cody. You just heard from Raider Puppet. You're going to hear from David Grant. You're going to hear from Graphk Raider. So stay tuned, Raider Nation. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get to David Grant. Oh, transition.
I would have to say that the perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Welcome to the Death Star, where our opponent's dreams come to die.
Raiders, Raiders, Raiders.
Coaches. Then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
All right, Raider Nation, we are back with David Grant of NFL Nation Live, former NFL referee and lifelong Raider fan. How you doing, David?
Doing all right. How's everybody doing?
Oh, we're doing good, man. Me and my daughter we're making it. We're doing day by day. Hoping to get out soon. This season, hopefully. I want to take my daughter to Vegas. I think she'd enjoy it. Hopefully, be able to get into a game and enjoy watching the Raiders play in the new stadium. So we're fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. In fact, we should make it a rendezvous for a lot of us folks out there. I think we're due for that, right?
Oh yeah. Big old hoopla. We'll all sit around the fire and sing Kumbaya or something, right? Or Raiders
takes,
kick ass. That's the one I like.
Yep. Whatever it takes.
All right, cool. So, David, we worked together. You were kind enough to invite me on your show, NFL Nation Live with Wayne. And then I invited, I mentioned bringing on Captain Jax, and you were cool with that. So, unfortunately, I had to, work got in the way as far as editing my podcast. But I am free now. But I appreciate you bringing me on your channel, man. So talk a little bit, about, here, I should say, slow down a little bit. Here on the Raider Homer channel, we're all about world building. And this is your first time on my channel. So tell the Raider Nation how you became a Raider fan and then how you became an NFL referee.
Right on. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. Honored and blessed to be here and participate in this endeavor that we all share as far as working for Raider fans, but also for the sport of football. So appreciate that. I became a Raider fan back in the 60s. I wandered into the living room in January of 1968. And, of course, we had black and white TVs back then. This was back in the dark age television. In fact, I didn't get my first color television until the Sunday prior to Super Bowl X. That's a whole other story. But I walked in the living room, asked my dad what he's doing, and he goes, "I'm watching the Super Bowl." And I'm like, "Well, what's that?" And he goes, "Well, it's a football game." So I'm looking at the TV, and darned if I'm not seeing Daryl LaMonica drop back to throw a pass for the Raiders. I'm like, "Wow, who are those guys?" And they're like, "Oh, those are the Raiders." Like, "Where are they from?" He goes, "Well, they're from Oakland." And I'm like, "Hey, we were living in New Jersey at the time, but I'm like, hey, we're from San Jose. I know where Oakland is. My grandmother lives in Santa Clara, for crying out loud." But a lot like Violator, fell in love with the logo on the helmet. It showed up well on black and white TV. If you had a colored TV, it was all the better. But you could enjoy that logo in black and white, and I was hooked. The challenge for me, growing up in the Midwest and East Coast, was even trying to identify with being a Raiders fan, because there just weren't any out there. It's not like today where they're all over the place, or at least there was not the method for which we could all advertise that we were all over the place. And so I grew up mostly in the Midwest. Football challenges, you might say. I played the sport, but had always been a Raiders fan, and I was always mocked for that, because the Raiders are supposed to be the hoodlums and the bad guys. And why did I, a kid coming from a middle class family, want to associate with a bunch of what my principal said at the time? And I said, "These are football players. These aren't thugs." I said, "These are guys that are out there working hard, playing on Sunday like everybody else." My dad had some association with the San Francisco 49ers. So we knew about the Raiders from having been out in Northern California, but I just fell in love with the logo. At that point, I tried to find out everything that I could about the Raiders, and spent most of that time trying to figure that out at the library. And back in the day, there was a series of books put out by various authors called the Punt, Pass, and Kick Library. And there was a book at the library called Star Pass Receivers of the NFL. And that book had my idol on it, Fred Biletnikoff. And so I started reading that book. There was another one called Star Quarterbacks that had Daryl LaMonica on the cover. So I was in heaven reading these Punt, Pass, and Kick libraries. But that's what got me started on being a Raiders fan. It got me into playing the game. And Fred Blitnikoff was always my hero, always will be my hero. I know and respect all of those in Raider Nation who either publicly or quietly, whatever, says, well, I don't have a favorite. And I totally get that. I have total respect for that. But I'm just cut from a different mold, as anyone would get to know me to find out. And I would say that for me, it's Fred Blitnikoff and then everybody else from that standpoint. But I ruined a bunch of my dad's T-shirts, putting number 25 on there, and with a laundry marker, which didn't go over too well. But yeah, I pulled out one of those. My dad was in the Navy, so everything in its place, right? And he had a drawer where he kept, his what I would call micro folded T-shirts, because they were all exactly the same size. And you could count how many were in there because of the way they were folded. I pulled one out one day because we were all going to go out there and play football. And I'm like, well, this is messed up. I'm the only kid here that doesn't have some kind of jersey, because I was in Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengal territory, and maybe some Packers. And all these kids had those old, was it huddle or whatever it was, where you could get the helmet and the shoulder pads and the jersey and the pants. The parents were all getting those the kids were getting all those for Christmas. Well, I never got one, because back in the day, the only place we knew where you could get those was from Sears. Well, Sears was very regionalized back in the day. So my parents called the Sears catalog that we used to get in December and said, hey, we want to order the Raiders, uniform. And they're like, what do you mean? We don't ship to Indiana. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't ship to Indiana? So thank God for the NFLshop.com days now, where you can get anything from anywhere, from anybody. But yeah, back in the day, if you didn't like the Lions, Bears, Bengals, or maybe the Packers, you didn't get anything. So I had to steal one of my dad's T-shirts, write the number 25 on it, and go out and play. And I got a whipping for it, but I figured it was worth it because I got to be Fred Blitnikoff for a day. So that was a lot of fun. But that's, it's been like that ever since. In the whole time that I was growing up in Indiana, I was always the outcast because I was a Raider fan, and quite frankly, I'm okay with that. And that was just part of who I am. And, I grew up at a time where it was taboo to wear black, all that kind of stuff. But I got my first, I think, not long into the 70s, Sears, the catalog, not only did they have the helmet and the shoulder pads and the jersey and all that, but they had these, what they looked like varsity jackets, right? Had the vinyl sleeves with the wool material in the middle. And so I figured, well, this is 1975. Surely by now I can get a Raider stuff. Sure enough, my parents called Sears catalog. Nope, we don't ship Raider stuff to Indiana. But this is messed up. So I called my grandmother, who lived in Santa Clara, and I said, hey, can you order me a Raiders jacket? And sure enough, she did and shipped it to me. And I wore that thing so proudly because I got it in the Christmas of 75. That, it had the knit hat and the mittens and all that. And darned if they didn't win the Super Bowl the next year. So I was riding pretty high. I don't have the jacket anymore, but I still have the patch off of that jacket. It's one of my oldest Raider artifacts. That's just me. And so it became a challenge much later in life when I became an official, if you will, a football official, to be impartial to a point, but you kind of learn that you have to live with that. The advantage for me is that I didn't become a football official until after I moved back to California, and in this case, Southern California. And so I really didn't. I kind of moved in here without any history of the rivalries for the local high schools, for the junior colleges. So who won or who lost didn't matter to me, so to speak, because I didn't have an investment, didn't go to school here. So if L.A. Pierce was playing Compton. I didn't care who won. I just wanted to have a good game and hope nobody got hurt. So that got the attention right away from the high school officials that maybe I could be pretty good. And I was just lucky. The whole thing for my career was really short. I officiated, I think, a total of 8 years, about 8 years. But I was doing junior college ball by my third year of officiating my first football game. I was doing varsity games my very first year, which in Southern California, where football is pretty popular and officials are, 50 wide and 50 deep, is pretty unheard of. So I moved up really fast, got the attention of a lot of people, and then I sort of semi-retired after the 2010 season. And then when the NFL officials went on strike in 2012, I get this email from a old college referee who really liked me. And he said, hey, they're going to hire replacement officials. And I'm like, cool. I said, are you going? He goes, yeah. He says, I think I'm going to do it. And he says, I'm looking for a field judge, which is one of the 7 positions on a 7-man officiating crew. And I said, terrific. Who are you looking to get? He goes, I want you. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? I said, I haven't even officiated a down for almost a year. Do you want me to bump, 2 levels up and go do all that? Anyway, so I did it, and it was a great time. There was obviously, it's been a long time now, but there were, we all know what that was all about. Everybody that got in that knew what it was all about. But for me, my career was essentially pretty much over anyway. I had chosen to come off the field, so I wasn't going to turn down a chance to get a uniform, a hat, and a paycheck and go have some fun, and that's exactly what I did. So I was under the radar pretty much through that whole process. There were those that weren't so fortunate, if you will, on that. But I knew a lot of those guys that were replacement officials, and I've taken that experience and tried to turn it into something positive. I know what the stigma of being a replacement official is and all that. I get that. I'm not worried about that because I've taken all that training that we got and tried to impart that on other officials who are trying to become NFL officials. And I've said in my clinics, I'm going to own up to the fact that I was the replacement official. I'm not going to hide from that. I'm going to own that part of it, and I'll answer any questions anybody wants with that. But the reality is nobody really cares about that now. They only care about what we've been doing since then. And I often tell people, for anybody that's really an NFL historian, what was Sean Payton doing in 1987? Well, he's a replacement quarterback for the Chicago Bears. You think anybody cares about that now? No, I don't think they do. So that's kind of the same thing, is that, you kind of have to take your chances when they come. And I did mine, and I own all the things that went with that, but I'm at peace with that. But I've tried to take that training and make it into something. But that afforded me, the chance to become an alumni. Part of the criteria for being an NFL alumni is that you got a paycheck. And so I did that, and I've tried to parlay that into some good things as well. So that was a good experience. A lot of the officials that I was involved with, both from the replacement standpoint, but also the trainers that we had, a lot of those folks have come and gone. That's been, almost 8 years. So quite a few people have retired from that aspect. But I knew a lot of those folks even from some of the officiating camps that I went to. So it's a brotherhood. It's like anything else. It takes relationships and those kinds of things. And, to this day, I'm good friends with Mike Pereira. I think Dean Blandino might still remember me from our Dallas clinic back in 2012 when he was the video guy and Carl Johnson was the vice president officiating. But a lot of those people, some have come and gone, but there's still some good relationships out there. And so if people have asked, well, if you could do it again, would you do it again? I said, absolutely, because so many positive things have come out of it. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, no one in Raider Nation's gonna fault you for being a replacement referee because we really don't like referees. Come to think of it, but look, you were talking about being, being able to advance quickly because of your unbiased in California. Now we all believe that the referees have a bias against the Raiders when it comes to calling games. And we've talked a little bit about this. Now, I know you may not want to get into it in full detail, but what's your take about the referees always seemingly calling, penalties that hurt the Raiders?
It's interesting because it's really interesting that you bring that up because I'm not afraid to address that. And, depending on who you talk to, you could talk to 12 people and get 15 different answers. But I'll get to that. But it's interesting that you bring that up because I've seen it from both sides. I've seen it as a fan, right, in some of those games, immaculate deception, all that kind of stuff. I've seen it. Brady fumbled. I'm happy to wear that T-shirt. And even on our show with Violator that we have during the regular season, we bring that up a lot. That's almost just like a period at the end of the sentence, the Brady fumble. And everybody knows that now. But I've seen it from both sides. So I've seen it as a fan, I've seen it as an official. And here's what I would say about that. I think that there's always a heightened sensitivity level when the Raiders are playing, just because of the fact that we're Raiders. I would tell you that I'm not specifically aware or have any specific knowledge that any one official is specifically targeting the Raiders, specifically, particularly with regards to any type of vendetta, or I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but any type of a prior history or anything to do with Al Davis, anything like that. What I can tell you, though, is that, a lot of the officials' training has been hand-me-down. And it's been, well, what did you see when you worked that game? Or what did you see when you worked, this or that? And so I think it's pretty obvious that when the Raiders are playing, there's a heightened level of sensitivity. And I think that when your heightened level of sensitivity goes up, I think it's human nature to over officiate sometimes on those things, because we've all seen it where there's been hits in our games. When I say our games, I'm talking about Raider games here, where there's hits in our games where we get flagged, and you see hits very similar to other games, and you're like, where's the flag? I just saw that game, last week. In other words, I'm saying to myself when I'm watching Raider games, I'm like, hey, we got flagged for that. And on Sunday afternoon, you see the same thing on Monday night, and there's no flag. And I think that while there's not a conspiracy theory or conspiracy to specifically target the Raiders, I think there is a heightened level of awareness when Raider games are being played. Now, I would also submit that while there does seem, at least the last couple of years, maybe it's still there, I do believe that a lot of the older officials who may have bought into that theory or practice are coming off the field. And so I think over time and through attrition, that's probably going to go away. But I was never in a situation where you're sitting in a film room and they're saying, okay, we're playing the Raiders. You got to watch for this. You got to watch for that. We're looking for holding. We don't care who's calling the holding. That said, it's really hard for me to sit here and say with 100% certainty on any authority that the Raiders are not under additional levels of scrutiny. You'd like it to not be that way, but if that's the way it is, then I think that the way the Raiders fix that is by educating their coaches and their players that if that's how it's going to be, then this is how we fix it. I think you got to do that by bringing in somebody who players and coaches what to do or what not to do, so that you don't raise anybody's eyebrows on anything. And so does that mean we have to be, better mannered than the other team? No, it's football. We should go out there and hit them if they're gonna hit us. But you're wearing the black and silver, and if that's a chip on our shoulder that we're gonna have to own, okay. You probably never culturally ever take that away. And honestly, Homer, I'm not sure as a Raider fan that I want to be Jacksonville. I don't think I want to go out there and not get flagged. Because you're going to tell me that if we could go back and interview Jack Tatum and say, hey, are you going to hit just a little bit left because you might get a flag? What do you think his answer is going to be?
Hell no.
And so exactly. So if you want to hit like that, go play, somewhere else. And so if we're going to own that little bit of chip, then so be it. And does that mean that it could hurt us? Yeah, maybe. But it's been a while, since we've been in a playoff game that's really meant something. And I think that by the time that you got to the playoffs, I think, and I do believe this wholeheartedly, that the NFL learned a very big lesson from the 2001 game against the Patriots and the tuck rule. And I think that they are much more aware of why they're trying to make things more consistent. I think that, and this is just based on my own perception, I think that it's not so much the officiating to do maybe with the Raiders in particular or any teams we're playing specifically, but I think that because the NFL has made the conscious business decision to be entertainment, they're one folding chair short of being WWE. And I think when you make the conscious effort to be entertainment, you start pushing the envelope on whether or not you're really a legitimate sport anymore. So when you see things like the tuck rule at the time when the Patriots were making a rise after 9/11, and then you see the Saints somehow find their way to the Super Bowl after Katrina.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting when you go back and you look at that Super Bowl against the Colts and the Saints. That interception that Manning throws to Porter, it was Tracy Porter, right? I'm thinking, really? I'm not saying Peyton Manning threw the game, not saying anything like that, but it's really interesting when you start looking at the teams that win, why they win, when they won, what circumstances are around when they won, why they won. I think the bigger picture for me, Homer, is if you're going to be entertainment, then you can start telling the officials how you want them to officiate. And I'm not saying that they're structuring outcomes, but what's the next most logical place that this game goes? If you're an entertainment and you're based on money and ratings and all that, you don't really need the sport to be legitimate because you don't think the fans are going to call you out for that. Right? Go ahead and flag the Raiders. What are you going to do? Or whatever. So it's just a really interesting dynamic with the way it's going. And I think the challenge with full-time officials is that while I know the media thinks that that's how it should work, that wouldn't work like they think it would. It's not going to bring any more consistency to the game. It's just going to actually make it, in my opinion, less transparent because you're going to own the officials 24/7 and you're going to be able to pretty much tell them what to do.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate your insight. We're up against the clock right now. Quickly, how excited are you for Wayne to get in the Hall of Fame, right? We've worked with a Hall of Famer, right? I mean, I'm excited. So tell the Raider Nation how excited you are for Wayne to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I couldn't be more happy for him and happy for Raider Nation. I know there's a lot of really good ambassadors out there for the game of football and the Raiders in particular. And I think, somebody always goes first, just like, if you will, kind of Jim Otto was that for the Raiders players in the Hall of Fame. I think this is his moment. He's our Jim Otto, if you will, so to speak. And I think that others will follow. But I couldn't be happier for him. Couldn't happen to a better person. And I think that the cool thing about this is that you're getting the real deal with him. And if you're going to put people in the Hall of Fame, Homer, you got to put people in there where you can say you can't write the history of pro football without this. You cannot write the history of the Raiders without Wayne, and I think it's a perfect match.
Absolutely. All right, before I let you go, tell the Raider Nation how to find you on social media.
I'm at Ref Guru on Twitter. You can follow us on NFL Nation Live. We're kind of dormant at the moment with things, but we may have a draft show coming up, which we'll ping some folks for. But we are generally heated up during the regular season. Every week we preview all the upcoming games, and our whole thing with our podcast is not to step on anything that other folks like yourself are out there doing great work on. We're just partnering with you in working on the broad scope of the game of football in general, and we highlight a lot of things that happen during the week. And of course, there is the tilt towards the Raiders, and that's okay too. But we do that purposely so that we're not trying to invade on any space for all the great work that you guys are already doing out there for Raider Nation already.
Well, that's awesome. We appreciate that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being a guest on your show again, man. That was awesome. You guys, it was intimidating, man, talking to you guys. You guys were talking about the entire NFL. I'm Raider Homer, you know. I can talk Raiders all day, but when it comes to the rest of the NFL, I'm like, huh?
I know. Well, yeah, and it's a different format from that standpoint. I think what we're trying to do, and I appreciate you saying that, though, because what we're trying to do there is give the fans a voice. So folks like yourself coming on there is perfect, because if it's a Raider slant to it, that's totally fine. We'd like to get a Dolphin fan out there who's got a slant, or somebody else who's got a slant. But I think the point is for us to just raise awareness of the game, the good things that are going on, try to highlight things that we think that are happening. We try to pick on the things that the other news outlets are not wanting to touch from a topic standpoint. So we get detailed in there, but we do like guests like yourself who come on there and bring us all they can with regards to the research and stuff for the Raiders, and that's awesome. Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, appreciate it. You have a good night, all right?
Right on, sir.
You're going to Canton, right?
As far as I know, I do plan on being there. I'm not sure exactly what my schedule is going to be, but I do plan to try to be there to support Wayne in his induction, and hope to get to see him while he's there if he's not too busy.
All right, well, I'll be there too, so let's try to do a broadcast together, okay?
That sounds perfect. Love it.
All right, cool. Have a good night.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. All right, Raider Nation, there you go. David Grant. Find him on social media. Of course, any guest, you can hit me up, and I will send you his or her way. I try to always link the person the following day. That way you can always click on their link and go to their social media account. Find David Grant. Watch NFL Nation Live with David Grant and The Violator. Dude, I'm telling you, they really do know their shit. They know about football. It's fun to listen to. It's fun to be a part of. So make sure you go over there and subscribe and follow them as much as possible. All right, chat line. Corey the Raider is still in here. Yeah, brother. That's you going to be in Canton too? It's going down, brother. Yeah, we're going to have to work together, brother. I'm telling you. Robert Reyes, Death Star Raiders Booster Club in the house. Look, hey, man, I'm looking forward to going down there to y'all's draft party. I'll broadcast from there, bro. I'm going to give it my all. We're going to try to make that draft party as awesome as any party we do here in Austin. And thank y'all for coming to the second annual Texas Pit Crew and helping us raise money with Ira Matthews, man. We appreciate y'all's support, and we're looking forward to supporting y'all. All right, cool. Rest in the chat line. Demon King. Yeah, dude, David Grant. Dude, that's just scratching the surface of David Grant stories, bro. That dude has some stories. Great insight. Kaylee, my favorite. Is Carr still my favorite player? Absolutely, he's still my favorite player. All right, Johnny Jimenez. I don't know the numbers on his contract, but I'm just glad they signed him. All right, my daughter was in here, Sophia. Ha, 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 ha. I love you, baby girl. Thanks for coming and watching, all right? Thank you for not complaining when I do these shows on Monday nights. I love you. All right, let's see. Power Raider, brother. Hey, we're going to have to get you on this show, dude. I'm scheduling right now. I will be in touch, all right? So stay tuned. Please subscribe and share, every chance you get. Appreciate you tuning in. Raider Squid. How you doing, brother? I'm telling you, I want to see you in Austin. Angel still here, was here. Let's see. So, yeah, Stage Door Casino. All right, we're getting into the rest of it. All right, look. Up next, we got Graphk Raider coming on, man. This guy, man, he's talented musician, talented YouTuber. Look, dude, but I got to say, when I'm watching this show, man, he talks about being a family man and why and the fact that he'll turn certain situations down in order to be a family man. I said, man, I got to get that guy on my show, man. That dude knows his shit, and he's a damn good dude. So looking forward to having him on next. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to him.
The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. Hashtag Oak Las Vegas. It's the new anthem right here, bruh. Yo, L, we got one, brody. Raider Nation, you ready? Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line. Car insurance cost an arm and a leg to reach that goal line. It's go time, born and raised in Cali. Howie, been doing this so long like Howie. We like the bad seed, we like the good son. Word to Charles, Abrams bring the wood, son. I ain't no regular fan, this shit is past that. Shout out to Clee Furrow, shout out to Mad Max, Thunder Renfro, slot machine getting dollars. Respect to Tyrell Ruggs and Darryl Waller. Hit the reset button and it paid off quick. Call me a crack on this mic, I'm on my Mayock shit. I'm screaming fuck AB, and in my next breath, screaming just win, baby. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. This got that 83 feel, it's time to run it back. We struck gold with in gold in our running back. Josh Jacobs, he a specialist. He personifies commitment to excellence. He our next Bo, he our next Allen. I'm watching receivers drown on Mullen Island. Yeah, y'all know the drill was Littleton in the middle. This shit just got real. Look, we Super Bowl bound. I'm just an honest man. Chuck you back to return us to the promised land. Rest in peace, Al. You the GOAT, bro. NFL had Jerry West, you the logo. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
The views expressed here, Graphk Podcast.
He'll knock you round
it's your boy Graphk Raider, man.
And laugh
Hashtag Oak Las Vegas.
The autumn wind is a Raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. Hashtag Oak Las Vegas. It's the new anthem right here, bruh. Yo, L, we got one, brody. Raider Nation, you ready? Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line. Car insurance cost an arm and a leg to reach that goal line. It's go time, born and raised in Cali. Howie, been doing this so long like Howie. We like the bad seed, we like the good son. Word to Charles, Abrams bring the wood, son. I ain't no regular fan, this shit is past that. Shout out to Clee Furrow, shout out to Mad Max, Thunder Renfro, slot machine getting dollars. Respect to Tyrell Ruggs and Darryl Waller. Hit the reset button and it paid off quick. Call me a crack on this mic, I'm on my Mayock shit. I'm screaming fuck AB, and in my next breath, screaming just win, baby. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. This got that 83 feel, it's time to run it back. We struck gold, we in gold in our running back. Josh Jacobs, he a specialist. He personifies commitment to excellence. He our next Bo, he our next Allen. I'm watching receivers drown on Mullen Island. Yeah, y'all know the drill was Littleton in the middle. This shit just got real. Look, we Super Bowl bound. I'm just an honest man. Chuck you back to return us to the promised land. Rest in peace, Al. You the GOAT, bro. If NFL had Jerry West, you the logo. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
The views expressed here, Graphk Podcast.
He'll knock you round
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man.
and laugh when he's conquered and won. The autumn wind is a Raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. Hashtag Oak Las Vegas. It's the new anthem right here, bruh. Yo, L, we got one, brody. Raider Nation, you ready? Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line. Car insurance cost an arm and a leg to reach that goal line. It's go time, born and raised in Cali. Howie, been doing this so long like Howie. We like the bad seat, we like the good son. Word to Charles, Abrams bring the wood, son. I ain't no regular fan, this shit is past that. Shout out to Cleve Earl, shout out to Mad Max, started Renfro, slot machine getting dollars. Respect to Tyrell Ruggs and Darryl Waller, hit the reset button and it paid off quick. I'm your crack on this mic, I'm on my May-I shit. I'm screaming, fuck AB. And in my next breath, screaming, just win, baby. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. This got that 83 feel, it's time to run it back. We struck gold, we in gold in our running back. Josh Jacobs, he a specialist. He personifies commitment to excellence. He our next Bo, he our next Allen. I'm watching receivers drown on Mullen Island. Yeah, y'all know the drill was Littleton in the middle. This shit just got real. Look, we Super Bowl bound. I'm just an honest man. Chuck you back to return us to the promised land. Rest in peace, Al. You the GOAT, bro. If NFL had Jerry West, you the logo. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAK, LA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
The views expressed here, Graphk Podcast.
He'll knock you round
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man.
and laugh when
Hashtag
he's
Oak Las
conquered
Vegas.
and won. The autumn wind is a Raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. Hashtag Oak Las Vegas. It's the new anthem right here, bruh. Yo, L, we got one, brody. Raider Nation, you ready? Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that O-line. Car insurance cost an arm and a leg to reach that goal line. It's go time, born and raised in Cali. Howie, been doing this so long like Howie. We like the bad seat, we like the good son. Word to Charles, Abrams bring the wood, son. I ain't no regular fan, this shit is past that. Shout out to Cleve Earl, shout out to Mad Max, started Renfro, slot machine getting dollars. Respect to Tyrell Ruggs and Darryl Waller, hit the reset button and it paid off quick. Call me a crack on this mic, I'm on my Mayock shit. I'm screaming, fuck AB. And in my next breath, screaming, just win, baby. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. It's got the 83 feel, it's time to run it back. We struck gold, we in gold and our running back. Josh Jacobs, he a specialist. He personifies commitment to excellence. He our next Bo, he our next Allen. I'm watching receivers drown on Mullen Allen. Yeah, y'all know the drill with Littleton in the middle. This shit just got real. Look, we Super Bowl bound. I'm just an honest man. Chucky back to return us to the promised land. Rest in peace, Al. You the GOAT, bro. NFL had Jerry West, you the logo. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. And I'm I pledge allegiance to Oco, LA Coliseum and Allegiant. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm a Raider. Ain't shit you can tell me, I'm so nation. No matter the location.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
The views expressed here, Graphk Podcast.
He'll knock you round
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man.
and laugh when he's
Hashtag
conquered
Las
and
Vegas.
won. The autumn wind is a Raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. Hashtag Oak Las Vegas. This the new anthem right here, bruh. Yo, L, we got one, brody. Raider Nation, you ready? Once a Raider, bruh. Always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line.
All right, Raider Nation, Graphk Raider, man, he's busy on his YouTube channel. We set up a time, he didn't show up. I don't know what to say, but you know what, though? We got friend of the channel, Demon King, on here, man. Demon King knows his shit when it comes to college football, knows his shit when it comes to Raider football, and always shows up when he says he's going to show up, so I appreciate you showing up, Demon King. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, Raider Homer. How's everything out there? Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? Demon King here. You know, I see that we made a little bit of moves in free agency today. And Ngakoue is coming to Vegas. I hope everybody's excited. I know we did go after him, but last year it just didn't work out. But now he's here. He's going to help our pass rush. And now Cleveland Farrell can possibly bounce inside. You know, that's going to help us an awful lot. I'm very excited about Ngakoue. I really am.
Well, you know what I like the most, and Heidi, she kind of poked fun at me when I said this. She said, "Well, yeah, we only had to give up a season in order to do this, but I like that we kept our draft capital." Okay, now I know we could have traded him, or traded for him, lost some draft capital, and maybe made the playoffs, but we still would not have won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But now that we can sign, or potentially are going to sign Ngakoue, and we keep our draft capital, man, we are poised to get a defensive tackle, to get another wide receiver, and we didn't lose out, dude. So I'm excited about that. You know, a lot of Raider Nation has been slamming Mike Mayock, man, slamming John Gruden on their offseason moves. I am myself and not one that actually trusts the free agents that they've been signing, but that's mostly on the free agents. I'm not going to bash Mayock and Gruden, but man, they cleared up a bunch of fucking cap space, and now we got Ngakoue, and we still have our draft picks, man. It's perfect.
That's right. Yeah, we have barely scraped the surface of free agency. Now, I see that we lost Devin Booker, Booker. He went to the Giants, which, you know what, I would have liked to have kept him, but there's still other running backs out there. There are running backs in the draft that we can get in the 3rd, the 4th, even the 5th round. There's a running back coming out of North Carolina. I think his name is Michael Carter. Don't quote me because they have 2 of them, but he's a banger back. He can run in between the tackles. He's got good hands. He'd be a perfect complement to Josh Jacobs. If we can grab this kid out of North Carolina, I'd be very, very happy about that.
How tall is he?
I think he's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1", but he's a tough back. He could run in between the tackles.
That's what we need. We need that thumper, man. We do need a thumper, man, big time.
He's not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's like a once in a lifetime guy. Like he's a monster. Like this kid in high school was bigger than grown men. You know what I'm saying? He's a big, big boy. But this kid, he's got no fear. He ran between the tackles. I know North Carolina ran a little bit of a spread offense last year, and that's what they run. They have Mac Brown as their head coach, former head coach at Texas. But the kid can run the ball. He runs between the tackles, and he'll run that RPO like we run, and he can catch. He's got really, really good hands. So I'm excited if we get a shot at him. And also with the free agency thing looming, I would have liked to have seen us have a shot at Thuney, the kid from the guy from the Patriots. I think he went to the Chiefs, which he's a good guard, but Kyle Long is in the building today. Kyle Long, Howie Long's son, Raider legend Howie Long. His son Kyle Long was in the building.
Now I like the idea of Kyle Long being a Raider. I do, man. I do love that. I remember Howie. I loved watching Howie play. But look, Raider Nation's always talking about the nepotism going on with Gruden and the guys that he that he brings in, the coaches that he brings in. Do you think this is another one of those nepotism type approaches if we get a Kyle Long? He's coming off of I think he missed last year. He hasn't played very much. He's injury prone.
He retired. He retired to get healthy. He didn't play because he was getting his body back to the game. Look at Gronkowski. Gronkowski came back, played for Tampa Bay, and he was a big part of them winning that Super Bowl. He wasn't the greatest, but you know what? He's on the field, and he's taking defenders away from the other guys that they have because he could be used as decoy. But Kyle Long is strong. He looks in really, really good shape. He looks like he healed his body up. He took that year off to heal the body up. He wanted to come out of retirement. Now, I would like him not to leave the building unless we sign him because he's going to Kansas City next. And if he's good as like that he looks with him and Thuney as their guards, that's going to be a little bit tough. I know they don't have no tackles really, which is beautiful because they got rid of that Schwartz. And I'd like to see us go look at Mitchell Schwartz. Honestly, I really would. Mitchell Schwartz was a really, really probably one of the best right tackles in the league. And when he came out of Cleveland, he was a decent tackle for the Chiefs. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great, but he was decent. And we need that right tackle. We need that guy over there on that right side because we already got our left tackle. We're set with Colton Miller. He ain't going nowhere. He's going to be a Raider for life.
Now, what about Good though, man? Good stepped in. He played well at right tackle. He played a little bit of guard. The kid can play. Are you wanting Kyle Long over a Good?
I want Good and Kyle Long as our two starting guards. I would like to see Richie come back, but only on a very cheap deal. I don't know how he's going to hold up at the end after last year being hurt, but he only played 2 games. He really wasn't even that effective for us. 2 games. Trent Brown played nothing. So losing them 2 guys are really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I wish everybody would realize that. They're like, oh, we got Trent Brown. Oh, we lost Richie. He only played 2 games.
I think Incognito, though, he wants to come back. Now, I think the move that really hurt us, and I was hoping that we could keep him and restructure, was Gabe Jackson. That guy is a damn good offensive lineman. Great pulling guard. He'll mow people over. I think that's the biggest loss. Because he played all year, and so we definitely need an Incognito to come in because now we're looking at John Simpson at the right side, right?
Yeah, but we're not. But Gabe wasn't great. He was all right. He wasn't a game changer. You know what I mean? He was okay. Like and he's not even gone yet. So we might try to restructure him and say, look, we're going to give you this. Either take it or leave it. Because Aguilar, you know what? It sucks that he's gone, but you know what? We weren't paying $13 million a year for a receiver who had 1 good year out of his career so far.
And dude, I'm tired of that shit. That sucks, man. That these, Aguilar, dude, we gave him the 1-year shot, right? He signed with us. Come on, show a little bit of loyalty, right? God, come on, man. But it is a business and whatnot. But there you go, though. There you go. I love all the players that come on this channel, and I love their support. But those are the type of players, the players that support the Raider Nation in their endeavors. Those are the type of the players that deserve respect and to be called a part of Raider Nation. But some of these players, like, that just come in like Aguilar, have a good year, and then bounce out.
They just want to get
come on,
paid.
man. Am I supposed to be loyal to you? You can say once a Raider, always a Raider, but
no,
that
no,
hurts.
he's not. Just like Trent Brown isn't, and just like Warren Sapp wasn't, just like Randy Moss isn't. And another thing, he went to a team that their quarterback can't even throw anymore. They're going to run the ball all year long. They are going to run. New England is going to go back to old school football and pound the rock all day long. Watch that team next year pounding the rock because of that offensive line. Aguilar's going to stand there. He might have 20 catches. Cam Newton can't throw anymore. You've seen it. Everybody's seen it. Oh, well, he got another year in the offense. I don't care how many years he has in the offense. He can't throw the ball no more. His shoulder's shot. Man, and everybody's losing it. Oh, well, we need a receiver. What are you talking about? We have 2 rookies. They're going to get another year. We got Renfro. We're going to be okay. Have faith in our guys. Have faith in Brian Edwards. Have faith in Ruggs. We definitely didn't use Ruggs the way we should have. We should have used Ruggs just like they did Alabama. Slants, bubble screens, reverses all the time. All we did was use him as the Cliff Branch. I get it. We want to go back to that deep pass. But Ruggs needs to touch the ball all the time. Put him in space, man. Get him in space. I hope they do this next year, man.
Ken Thompson from SportsX Radio, he talks a lot about moving Ruggs around, like motion and things like that, man.
Yeah.
Is that what you're expecting the Raiders to do as well?
Yes, Alabama did that with him. Ruggs wasn't the outside receiver at Alabama. Ruggs would run screens. He would run reverses. He'd run quick slants. That's where he got all of his yards. That's where he got all of his touchdowns. That's what we need to do with him. We do it with Renfro. Renfro's great. I think Renfro's fantastic. If Renfro was two inches taller, he'd be a number 1 wide receiver and be one of the top of the league.
Yeah.
But because of, you know what I'm saying? He's a little bit short. He's like a Julian Edelman, and Edelman averaged like 106 catches a year. That was beautiful. I'd love to have the guy to do that. I mean, we still got Waller, and I'm going to argue he's the top tight end in the league. Even though I'm a Raider fan, I'm going to say it. He is. Kelsey, you put Kelsey on any other team, he's not going to do what he does for the Chiefs. You look at Kittle's hurt already. He's going to be in trouble with that. They don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, no,
but
I like Waller. I
fine.
like Waller's ability to go from XYZ and play tight end. I think that's crucial, especially in John Gruden's offense, where you know that he needs people that can play anywhere at any given moment.
And I can't wait to see Foster Moreau next year because he's got another year in. He's healthy. The kid's a good tight end. If anybody watched college football, y'all know he played at LSU. Y'all know, well, if you know, he wore the number 18. At LSU, it's a captain's number. If you're like the man, you wear that number. He wore that number at LSU. Just like at Notre Dame when you wear number 1. It's a universal number. That whoever wears number 1 is the guy that week. They had a great week of practice, We've had players that wore number 1, But I'm not worried about anything. I love Ndakwe. I think he's going to be really, really good for our defense. I'm looking at the Sherman thing. I'm hoping Richard Sherman comes in. I really, really want Richard Sherman in to show these kids how to run this defense. I think he will help Arnett tremendously. He will help Mullen tremendously. He will help Amik Robertson tremendously. Everybody keeps forgetting we still have Amik Robertson. He's the best slot corner in college football when he came out from Louisiana Tech. He barely got his feet wet, He didn't look too good when he played, but he's young. He's a rookie. The kid, he played at Louisiana Tech. The competition with Louisiana Tech compared to like LSU and Clemson, and it's so far low. It's ridiculous. But the kid will get his shot, and he's going to be good for us in the slot. We just need that free safety showing up.
What are you thinking about? How do you feel about Tanner Muse? Now, I know he didn't play, but I think the Raiders stashed him away on the injury reserve list, knowing that they were going to be patient with him and asking him to move positions. What do you think about Tanner Muse?
I think Muse comes from the pedigree of Clemson. He was a good college football player. He's kind of like a tweener Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? You don't know, but that's what the NFL is nowadays on defense. You need those tweener guys. You need that safety hybrid linebacker guy, a guy that can go up and hit, but also the guy that can cover. You don't need that middle linebacker that's 5'11", 6 foot, 230 pounds that just thumps people in the middle. There ain't no Ray Lewis's anymore, man. There ain't no Ray Lewis's coming anytime soon. A lot of people think
Kwiatkowski's not Ray Lewis, but he's one of those thumpers, dude. That guy was blowing up plays. I mean, when he couldn't get to the tackle, he's hitting blockers into other blockers and blowing up the play like that. I mean, I like Kwiatkowski.
He can cover. He can cover a little bit. I mean, I hope Littleton comes back with this new defense. I mean, I was ecstatic about signing Corey Littleton. I was very disappointed last year with him. But Gunther's defense is very, very intricate, and it's very, very confusing for young guys. Those guys, like you say, Homer, everybody's seen it. They look like they were lost all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on. But here's basic fundamental football. Tackle the guy with the ball. Cover the guy in front of you. Don't worry about the damn zone. Just got a guy run across your face. Go with him.
Yeah.
Nobody else is there.
Right.
You've seen it over and over and over again in all these games. Like Abram, he's got to learn to stay back. Quit running up to try to make a smash and hit. Stay back and pick the ball off.
Right. Yeah, he killed us in Vegas when he moved up and Kelsey was right behind him. That cost us the game
Wide
right
open.
there.
Wide open. That's what I'm talking about. He's staring. He's reading into the backfield. He's looking too much into the backfield. He's got to stop. There's 10 other guys up there. You ain't the man. Get back there and do your job.
Yeah.
Do your job. Everybody's got a job on the defense. Do your job.
Yeah, man. That's definitely what this team needs to do. You know, you look back at that Dolphin game and Arnett playing that cover 2. He should have ran with the receiver. You know, if you give up a short yardage situation, it don't matter. The guy's in front of you. Keep him in front of you, but don't give up that deep ball. And that's, you know, just minor decisions like that, split-second decisions are costing us, like an Abram moving up, you know. But, Gus Bradley, though, if we could get anything similar to that Legion of Boom, man, we're going to the bowl, man.
Gus Bradley his defense, I know everybody says it's basic. Good. We need a basic defense. You don't need all these crazy schemes and these weird blitzes, and we're only going to blitz on 6% of the time. Shut up. Enough. Gunther, go to like Division III West Texas State or something, seriously. Because you're not an NFL defense coordinator no more. You need to be a position coach. You're pitiful. Gus Bradley's defense is, I think it's either a cover 2 or a cover 3. Perfect. Because what are all these offenses in the NFL doing now, Homer? Split, wide, throw the ball. Not many teams are running under center anymore. They're not.
That's unfortunate, you know. I hope that Gruden can really bring back that old Gruden ball, because, dude, the NFL, it's like playing Madden now, dude. It sucks. I mean, why even pay these defenders these top dollars? You know what I mean? Because they can't stop the offense. No. The damn offense is spread out so wide. You know, it's like, it's frustrating to watch the way the NFL is running right now, or operating right now.
You got to run a nickel almost every time on defense, because that's all teams are doing. They're throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. See, you're right. I hope Gruden stays with our bully ball, because we have Alex Ingold, who's a hammer. We got Josh Jacobs, who could be a star. He's on his way. He is on his way. Yeah, I know our offensive line took a little bit of beating, but again, Trent Brown didn't play last year. Richie didn't play last year. Denzel Good played everywhere. Colton Miller is still there. And so is it Rodney Hudson, the best center in the league. The best center that we've had in the past, 20 years?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, since Jim Otto, because he was better than Barrett Robbins.
Yeah.
Now, Dave Dalby, he won 3 Super Bowls, so you could say since Dave, you know.
He had Hall of Famers surrounding him.
Yeah,
so,
but it goes back to those days. Rodney, his ability goes back to comparison as far as in those days.
And that's what I like having him, even though we have those young kids, even though we have Simpson, because Rodney is going to help this kid. We saw something in him. If you watch his old tapes at Clemson, he's a pounder. He smashes dudes in the mouth. I loved watching him play. He was, even though I was not a Clemson fan, I am a Notre Dame fan. Go Irish! But he's a pounder. He smashes guys. That's what he's going to do for us. That's why it's okay for us to release these guys. That's why it's not a big deal for us to let Gabe go and take that money back, because we got Simpson sitting there, chomping at the bit, wanting to get his chance. Put him in there. I know he played a couple plays last year. He didn't look great. But you know what? The kid needs to play. You got to play to see what you got. You can't put him in for 4 or 5 plays and be like, oh, okay, well, we didn't do nothing. Let's get rid of him.
No, and you got to believe that Tom Cable can coach him up. He did a great job with the this patchwork offensive line that we had last year.
Like it happened with Feliciano. Feliciano stung for us. Now look what he's doing for Buffalo. He just got an extension.
Yeah. Man, don't even bring me in that guy. I don't know that Gabe Jackson's happy he left. Man, come on, Feliciano. Dude, why would you even say that, man? Oh, that was disappointing. But, yeah, anyway, Simpson, though. Simpson, I'm hoping that Simpson can really step it up because we need him to step it up, period. I was talking to Cody this year. If we don't get a Kyle Long, and we sign Good, are you comfortable, if Richie Incognito comes back on the left side, are you comfortable with Good and Simpson on the right side?
Yeah. I think Good should be a Pro Bowler, honestly. He's not a guard, he's not a tackle. He's an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Because he plays every position on that line other than center. And he probably could play that if he had to. And remember, we got Andre James, too, who can play guard if he has to. He's our backup center, but he can play guard. We got some guys there. I don't think anybody really realizes it, that because they played 1 play here or 2 plays there. They're decent players. They just need their chance. I mean, of course we got Rodney there. Andre James can play guard if he absolutely had to. He can pull. He can move. He knows all the offensive calls because he played decent when Rodney was hurt. He didn't play terrible. He played good.
Yeah.
But everybody sees the names all the time, the faces, the Ruggs, the Hudson, the Gabe Jackson. Well, you know what? These are names I want you to remember. Brian Edwards, because he's going to have a breakout year.
Oh, man, we need him to, dude.
He's gone.
If that kid can stay healthy, dude, he's that big-bodied receiver. That's what I'm saying. On paper, we have the wide receiving group that we really want. We got the big body in Edwards. We got the speedster in Ruggs. We got the possession receiver in Renfro. And then you can mix Waller in there as your 4th wide receiver and a 4 wide receiver set, man. And that kid, he's got it all. Dude, we are set at wide receiver. Of course, we do need some depth. But if those guys stay healthy, man, we have a legit wide receiving group.
I mean, there's some guys that are out there that can come and play depth for us. I mean, I like Zay Jones's attitude, but he doesn't have it. He's not that good. I mean, me personally, I want to go get the Cole kid from Jacksonville. I'd like him to come and play for us, Keelan Cole. I think he'd be really good for us. Well, I don't think Kenny Galladay. There's the Jets in Miami are going to be fighting for him, and he's going to want money, and we're not going to pay a fortune for a 1A receiver. It ain't going to happen. But I like what we have. I mean, hopefully we re-sign Doss to the practice squad. I don't know what that's about, but I mean, I guess because he's from, he was a Californian kid, we bring him back in. But I don't know. But he didn't really impress. He looked good in the preseason, but so doesn't everybody. Nathan Peterman looked good in the preseason. Come on now.
All right, cool, man. This last little segment's been a nightmare, dude. So I appreciate you coming in, dude. Back up, man, showing that you're really a starter. I'm looking forward to doing the Raider Invasion podcast with you and Captain Jack. I think that's going to be a good one. But I really want to thank you for coming out and helping us with the 2nd annual Texas Pick Crew.
Absolutely.
With, raising money for them with Ira Matthews, bro. You come through every time you say, I need you to come through, you come through, dude. So I appreciate your support, man. And, damn, that means a lot to me, bro.
Hey, I'm always here for you. You know that. I'm always here to support you. You're my guy. You've always been good to me. You never disrespected or anything like that. So I'm always going to be there when you need me, man. Believe that. We're friends. You're my guy.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. All right, now, look, tell the Raider Nation how to find you on social media. And also Raiders, is that Demon King? Raiders. Yeah.
That's my dude. Hey, also, how's it going? Yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's Jason Dean Hunter. That's the name the government gave me when they grew me in a lab. And on Instagram, it's @Raider Demon King. You guys will. I'm always on Facebook. I post a lot. You guys are more than welcome to friend request me if I see you around and I'm in gear. I'm more than welcome to take pictures. I got some new things coming, some stuff coming up for this season coming up. So hopefully on the road I get to see some people. We got some new prizes and swag for everybody.
Nice. All right, brother. Well, once again, man, I appreciate you coming in on short notice.
Absolutely, Homer. Hey, Raider Nation, I love y'all.
All right, cool. All right, Raider Nation. We're going to call that a night, man. That little segment, that last segment, that was a nightmare, man. But once again, man, I always got backup here on the channel. Dedicated people dedicated to our friendships, you know, and what we do. I appreciate it. So, chat line, we got Ghost94. How you doing? Prez also in here, brother. I'm looking forward to taking over Texas, brother. Killer Cuts is still in here. Test is in here. Robert Reyes showed up. Damien King showed up. Kaylee showed up. The Executioner showed up. My daughter showed up. Thank you, baby girl, for the support. Appreciate it. Angel, look, I appreciate everybody that shows up in the chat line, on the phone blitz, all the guests, everybody that shares. I appreciate all y'all's help, Raider Nation. I'm looking forward to meeting y'all out there on the road. Hopefully COVID's going to start settling down now that these vaccines are getting out and everything's open up. Yeah, I still wear my mask, not this mask, but the other mask that covers my mouth. So do that, you know, because you want to make other people feel comfortable as well. And that, you know, seemingly, you know, slows the spread of this virus. So we're almost there, light at the end of the tunnel. Let's keep doing what we've been doing, and let's get through this tunnel. All right, Raider Nation, like I said, that was a bit of a hectic little last 20 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here with a positive message from the Violator. What message do you have for the Raider Nation here and now and into the future?
Pretty simple, brother. Raider Nation, I'm speaking to you as an ambassador. Always stay true, stay loyal, keep the beliefs, and keep the faith. We will return.